Hey, how's it going, everybody? Happy 4th of July if you're in the USA. Otherwise, happy Wednesday to you, or Thursday, I guess, depending on where you are. A lot of people are at work, myself included. Here I am at work. Already got a meeting done this morning, and now it's time for the live stream. I think we're going to go about 3 hours because I've got to do some other stuff later in the day before I go to the barbecue. But hopefully, you're having a good time. It's my duty to inform you that we have a sale going on, and that is 10% off the entire website. I went back and forth on this. The reality is we've set our prices so low that we shouldn't do it. But then I was like, oh, it's tradition, the 4th of July live stream and the deal and the one-day sale. And so I just went ahead and pushed it through this year. And so if you use code BSAFE10, it will save you 10% off on everything. Now, if you're local to us, we are going to do it this year where you can come into the store and get 10% off. So you can get fish and canister filters and all that stuff you can't buy online would also be 10% off, but only in the store and only on Friday, tomorrow. So you're not being left out, because a lot of times people go, hey, I want to order, or I want to buy that stuff, but I don't necessarily want to order online. I want to pick it up, blah, blah, blah. And so that's what we're doing. We've got a ton of staff ready to work tomorrow. So if you order today, high likelihood earlier in the day will ship tomorrow for sure. As it gets later and later in the day, more and more people use that code. It might be a day or two later. Might ship out Saturday type of deal. We have extra staff on hand. Ship it as fast as possible. I think at this point, if you guys have ordered from us before, you know we ship faster than anyone. A lot of times we'll get messages like, I placed my order and 29 minutes later it was said it was being shipped. And yes, we ship very quickly. So Amy said, darn, I just ordered yesterday. Do know that we have a policy on the website, and that is we price match our own sales for 7 days. So if you just ordered yesterday, all you would have to do is send an email to shipping@aquariumcoop.com, let them know your order number and that you bought yesterday and you want to take advantage of the sale that is today. And Candy will probably chime in and go, yep, got that refund process for you and stuff like that. We just don't want to create a situation where people are always waiting to see, like, well, there could be a sale coming. And then if we don't do any sales, they just never order and that kind of stuff. So, within a week either way, so you're good to go. Don't worry about that. We don't want to take advantage of anyone. We want to keep it as fair as possible. And, but yeah, I will say this is like the last, I guess, general sale like this, probably for the entire summer, maybe even till Black Friday. Like it really doesn't make sense for us to do this anymore. So yeah, that's where we're at. So it's kind of one of those times, like, get while the getting's good. Right now it's the middle of summer, and it's always our lowest sales, so it helps us out. All right, today we're gonna try something new, and I can't guarantee it's gonna work, and I can't guarantee I'm not gonna offend people, and so I'm out of focus, people are telling me. How am I out of focus? I think it might be focusing, like if I do this. Yeah. Yeah, my camera's being a little weird, but I'll try and keep an eye on it. So anyway, we're going to try something new. It could, without ruining it, just know that my intention is to have a lot of fun, and I don't know the origin of everything we're going to look at today. And so if something comes off as offensive, then, we're going to, hopefully dodge that. And obviously I wouldn't do anything to do that. So the first thing I want to show off is my awesome shirt, which I found on the internet from Friday Fish Facts. He's another YouTuber up in Canada. And I was just, kind of trolling around like, hey, what is this? And he's got a shirt. He's got a shirt that's the Corey Gang, and I had to have it. So you can probably find that on his channel. I think I got it on Teespring. Teespring shirts aren't that cheap, unfortunately. So, that is what it is. It took a long time to get here. And it just so happened it showed up yesterday, unbeknownst to me that I had already made kind of the meme thumbnail. So I was like, oh, that's perfect. So let's go ahead and get to the first fun part of the show, or I think it's going to be fun. And for that, I'm going to need the Let's Deal With It glasses. That's right. No special effects here. Legit Deal With It glasses. So let me get it lined up, make sure we're gonna have everything rolling here. It's really hard to see out of these, by the way. All right, got that going on. So today what we're doing, we're gonna do the meme review. Kind of a popular thing on the internet. PewDiePie does it. I'm sure other people do it. But people have been asking for it, and we have a kind of a meme thread, if you will, on the Aquarium group support. I'll give a caveat right there. Don't go to the Aquarium group support if you can't cohabitate with other people without fighting, swearing. There's literally 0 tolerance, so the first time you mess up, we just ban you. You have to agree to the rules to get in. It is a 0 tolerance place. We don't have time to manage 16,000 people and give them second and third and fourth chances about swearing and being mean to people. So just know that once you get in, if something's deemed inappropriate and you get booted out, no one's ever going to review it or anything like that. Like, it's just a one-time thing. It's not that big of a deal, you know. So, but if you want to participate in the memes, there's a thread there that's pinned to the top, and it's some fun ones. I picked out like the best. I think it was like almost 50 of them or something like that. And I don't want to say the best because it's not the best. Like, I picked out 50. I don't know how long it's going to take, but let's roll into it. I don't know if I can wear these much longer. It's hard to read. So, all right. That being said, maybe I'll put them up here. That's good. Got really bright in here now. All right, here we go. So the first one, some of them really make me laugh. You know, and some are just like, oh, it's clever, but some are very funny to me, and especially the ones that go in detail. But, you know, and I don't really know how to do this meme review thing, so I'm just gonna make an attempt. So you're telling me to use activated carbon, even though you want more tannins in your water column. And I don't know if this one might have been related to a live stream or something like that. I don't remember it, but yes, definitely people worry about carbon and how everything's gonna interact with each other. That's just getting started, you know. And so it's kind of fun to be like, what meme is behind that? The aliens guy, canister filters. Definitely, I think it's the most heat I've caught in a long time about talking bad about canister filters. And there's still people to this day that will meet me in person and be like, I don't get why you hate them. And it's like, whoa, I don't hate them. They're just not the best fit for everyone. You know, but, you know, you reap what you sow, I guess. And I did a video on that, and a lot of people watched it. A lot of people agreed, a lot of people disagreed, but you got people talking about, are canister filters good or bad? What we got up next? Oh, yeah, it's going to be a few of those canister filter memes because, yeah, what if I told you you don't need a canister filter? I will say I'm going to critique the memes because I'm a meme connoisseur. I feel like if someone was going that extra step, there'd have been a different reflection in the glasses. I don't know what would have been there, but I feel like that was a perfect subtlety to like, oh, that was good. Yeah. So, and some of these memes are very elaborate, by the way, which is pretty cool to see people take the time. I like this one. You don't need a Ferrari if you've already got a canister filter. That's right. This makes me think, I want someone to do some memes with modern problems require modern solutions. This is what it made me think of. What is all the fuss? I love my canister filter. Any Sesame Street meme? I haven't seen those before. I'm a fan. And Oscar the Grouch. That's pretty much me when I go on a rant. I'll be honest. Like I go on a rant, but you know, Oscar the Grouch, he's harmless. And all these can be found on the thing, so you can take a better look at them. Yeah, this one I like. The Family Guy, canister filters. You guys always act like you're better than me. Yeah. The Hang On Back, nothing. Sponge filters. That's, you know, I do want to clarify. I don't believe that other types of filtration are better than necessarily a canister filter. But depending on the application, there are best fit filters for the solution. And so, yeah. But no, accurate, accurate meme nonetheless. This is the John Travolta memes. When I remember a live stream, I was like, oh man, we need some good John Travolta memes, you know, like where he's walking around and then I appreciate the meme on a meme level of like, oh yeah, let's do different John Travolta memes. And it doesn't show up on the screen, unfortunately, because I couldn't make every meme fit to scale. But it does say Aquarium Co-Op Tank Fever, which I thought was appropriate. I like the one on the right. The yeah. Oh man. Me and my wife will, when new ones get posted, just sit here laughing so hard. Sand's the worst substrate. Change my mind. This was very timely weeks ago, but now that I've done the substrate thing, it's like, oh, he's kind of already past that. But yeah. Oh man. This one, yeah. You have to know the meme to get it, but essentially it's cut off a little bit. Unfortunately, this one's like a mile long. You get to see them all, but cancer filter, like, all right, it's decent. Hang on back, okay. Oh man, it's a sponge filter, and then obviously like the insane freak out. The ZISS filter, it's the best. Oh, yeah. But each one's got its own use scenario. I appreciated it. I appreciated that meme. This one, I had to reread it a couple of times. Like, wait, what's going on here? Let's switch our cancer filter to a ZISS filter. Oh man, yes. Don't. That's the thing I should say is don't swap out filters you already have for other filters. Like that's a waste of money unless it's not doing what you need to do. I'm never advocating ditch the thing you spent a bunch of money on and come spend new money with me or anyone else. Like that's just a bad idea. So always use what you got first. When a customer buys a canister filter right after your anti-canister filter live stream, yes, we caught a lot of flack because I put canister filters on sale at the store like the week after we did that live stream, and people just thought it was like, I don't know, that I was crazy. And I guess I should rewatch my own live stream a few times, but I felt that I conveyed that it's not that all canister filters are always bad and there's never a use. It's that most people don't need one. And in their mind, somehow it translates to all canister filters are bad in all situations, and therefore why would you sell them? Isn't that hypocritical? And it's like, okay, well, yeah. I do like it when people find my random poses, though, in my live streams. This one got all cut off, so I'll just have to read it to you, but it says, but does it spark joy? That's right, that's to that show that's like, it's not it's like an organization show. I don't remember the name. Everyone watches it. I don't have cable, so I just know of the meme, but I haven't watched the show. Well, that's not true. My wife watched it once, I think, and I was like, this is terrible. I was not a fan. Hey, you got that new Ferrari canister filter? Yeah. We need to work on that. I need like Ferrari or BMW or something. Let's put out a canister filter. We'll do it better than smartphones though, because I think Lamborghini made a smartphone and it was terrible. It was really expensive, but it was terrible. Corey's opinion on canister filters? Water changes the internet. Whoa. If one more person asks me, the med trio is snail and shrimp safe. Yes, we get asked this with Easy Green and the meds several times a day, even though we directly like bold it in the description, in the videos, in the description of the product. Like I need like a big pop-up like bright light flashing thing on the website or something that says like, before you send this email, the answer is already yes, it is safe. Yes, even that invertebrate that you just listed that wasn't specifically listed, yes. Your cherry shrimp, your bamboo shrimp, your crab, your whatever. The only one that is justifiable, I think, in an email is, but you didn't say whether this is reptile safe. And that is because I have not tested it with reptiles. I don't know if the trio is safe for turtles. I don't know if it's safe for axolotls. I have used it with axolotls, but I have not used it extensively to be able to say, oh, it will never hurt axolotls. So I can't make that claim because I've only done it a handful of times, right? So Yes. I enjoyed the Pulp Fiction because what I enjoy, I feel, I already feel dumb because I'm explaining what memes are, but like, I feel like I have to because not the entire internet knows what memes are, but you appreciate this if you know the original line and then you apply it to, what's being said here. So if you don't, if you're young enough, you don't know Pulp Fiction, it might not be good. Mmm, rock salt. Fritz A? Yeah, that's nice too. I actually, I actually like I think it should be the other way around. Is Fritz A salt or A plus salt, whatever they call that crap? Its granular level is much better than rock salt. So I actually prefer the Fritz salt, but rock salt works as well for sure. Like we've used rock salt for 30 years. So yeah, we got shrimp tacos. This is an older live stream back when I did them in front of the 800-gallon tank. I've been thinking about, well, I've got some stuff in the works. The first test already failed, which was pretty disappointing because I'm about $500 into that equipment to do what I wanted to do, but I'm not convinced that the equipment has failed. It could possibly be that a setting was wrong so far. So we're working on that. I was working on that this week. I was hoping to have that included in this live stream as well, but it doesn't make any sense to like bring something we know is super buggy in front of you guys. Like, well, we could play with it some more, maybe get it working. I eat memes. I like this because this is a meme that's like started from Murphy, or at least, okay, I should be fair. There could be a meme that says I eat memes that I don't know about. So it could be meme on a meme level I'm not aware of, but I enjoy a good Murph meme. That's right. Hashtag Murph meme. Med Trio? I put that on everything. It's true. Med Trio. Everything gets it. Every time, at the store, at home, every fish that my business will come in contact with will get the Med Trio. Now, that doesn't mean they'll never be sick after that. It doesn't mean you don't need to quarantine. It just means we're doing that, and you should still quarantine, and you need to follow up. What a lot of people don't get is like with the general cure, we can treat all the active internal tapeworms and parasites, right? So they're in there, they're alive, we kill them. But all the eggs they laid while they were inside the fish do not get affected by the general cure. And so, therefore, after a few weeks, they hatch out. They're now living inside the fish. You need to redose the general cure to kill those ones off. Then you most likely will have killed the entire cycle and not have to worry about it. But we can only do the first one because we quarantine for a week. And then we'll sell them over the next week or two. And then by the time they're at your house, 3 or 4 weeks in, you should be redosing again. So you give them like a week or two to acclimate, then go ahead and dose them with general cure again, and that'll get you, a bit further into your quarantine routine. All right. Oh yes, So now, like, it's fun for me to watch the meme trends change. So as people post memes, right, it'll like spawn another idea for another person. So like canister one, canister one, canister one. And then someone will make a meme change, and then a lot of people will go like, oh wait, we should pull Jimmy and Randy and Joel into this. And so they kind of, there's a meme evolution going on in the thread, and it's fun to watch the morph, and someone will take, oh, I can use those cutouts and do a funny thing with that. That'll be even funnier. And I don't know. I really enjoy it. I don't know. I mean, I love memes, but I think maybe you love memes when you're in it even more. I don't know. Like, I can't really ask you guys because you guys probably don't have that many memes after yourself. So I can't know if it's like me loving memes that I'm in. Is that like make me an egomaniac, or is it just because it's hilarious? Say cancer filter one more time. The funny part is, I do this. My wife always wants to take pictures when we were in China here with a vendor, and she's always like, "Oh, let's take a picture. I want to take a picture of you." So I always like kind of make a weird. I usually do weird faces and normal ones because I just so yeah, this is never meant to be the serious look, but I can see how it's meme worthy for sure. Oh, I really like this one because it brought in King of the Hill. Alrighty, Jimmy, time to get an 800-gallon again. I'll tell you what, Okay. My favorite part is Sassy's face horribly photoshopped over Ladybird. I really appreciate the poor Photoshop aspect of it. I love that. And you've got, Peggy Hill, which is my wife, and this was fitting for the time when we all had, we kind of started a little fad where everyone had King of the Hill character like icons, and Jimmy chose Bobby, so that's why, I always feel like I have to defend because I don't want it to be like, it's not that like Jimmy's a little kid or that he's the lowest man on the totem pole. He chose that on Facebook, so kind of self-appointed. I mostly use a sponge filter, but when I don't, I use a canister filter. That's pretty true. Yeah, I think we could do a lot with is it Don Equus? At the I don't ever know the name of the memes, like the original names. I think it is that. I think there's a lot to be done with that meme. Yes. I gotta get through these. I'm taking too long. That face you make when you hear someone say, I need a canister filter? I will say, in the store back in the day, it would be hard to like not give kind of this look when you're just like the craziest stuff is coming out of a customer's mouth. And it's usually like, oh, someone online told me to do this, and you're just like, this is the worst advice I've ever heard. And in your mind, you're trying to keep a normal face going, all right, let me start putting all the building blocks together to explain how insane this is, and then give some logical advice. Because part of the problem is when you have someone that comes in and they believe what information they got was true, you naturally look like either a used car salesman or someone who's crazy when you're trying to talk them out of that logic. And so like a lot of times it'd be like, oh, someone said I just need to buy ammonia absorber and not focus on the bacteria and all that, and you'd be like, oh geez, all right. But and first I have to explain, we don't sell ammonia absorber because we don't believe it actually works. Well, it works, but it's not a good solution. Like we should focus on bacteria or plants or stopping feeding as much. And it looks like you're really trying to take something that you don't sell and spin it into, but you should buy this over here because that's what I have. And so you definitely would get some people that were put off by that, but regardless, try and push them down the right path, or what we believe was the right path. So yeah, I don't always use filters, but I have 15 canister filters on my 29 gallon, and I'm the greatest. That's right. I was thinking about doing a little spoof video where I have an FX6 and I put the fish in the FX6 and then I run a 10-gallon tank as a sump. I thought that'd be kind of fun. But then I realized way too much work to just like poke fun at the people freaking out over that video, so I didn't do it. I got lazy. But I should. I should do it. Koopy's Clone Army? Hashtag Easy Green. That's a throwback to the Real Fish Talk when I explained how often, and people that hang out at the conventions will hear this, how often people don't know my name. Like now, if someone calls me Koopy or something like that, we know that they're on the inside track and like watch the Real Fish Talk. But the amount of people that call me Cody and all that kind of stuff, and what I'm saying is, it's not like if someone says, oh, I just found you, nice to meet you, Cody. But someone will say, like, I've been watching you for 4 years, Cody. And I'd be like, wait, 4 years? My name's been on the screen, like, every video for 4 years. And I've said my name is Corey a million times. And it's just so, like, it kind of spawned from that. It was almost like a real-life meme of, like, you're my biggest fan, but you don't know my name. All right, then. And I shrug it off. Like, I don't really care. I think it's funny. Oh, this meme, see, I brought this meme up, so... Are you going to listen to me or fail miserably? I wanted to set the record straight. I never believe that to be true. Anything I say is not to be construed as this is fact, this is the only way to do it, or anything like that. So I brought this one up purely to be, just because you don't listen to my advice, I would never say you will be unsuccessful. There are so many ways to do everything in this hobby that people can do the opposite of everything I do and still be 10 times more successful than I will ever be, just because there's multiple ways to do things, and where we get into trouble is kind of mixing some things. You know, if you like, I gravel vac every week, and yet you also like, I think deep sand beds are the most important. It's like, well, those two clearly can't go together. Those are just like against. But you know, those two schools of gravel vacuuming every week or deep sand bed, both highly successful. It's when you kind of get into that middle area that you'd have troubles, and most of the hobby is that way. Is, you know, there's a bunch of ways to do it. If you fall in between those ways, though, you can fall into some problems. So definitely don't have to listen to me, and I'm not the only way to do it by any means. I just tell you guys the way I like to do it. Cancer filters everywhere. I was like, oh, this one's all right, and then I finally looked at Woody's face, and I was like, oh yeah, it's good. I mean, his face is always like that, but set it in stone for me, you know. Stone. Oh man, I'm reading real life chat memes. My husband thought we were saying Corey Dories and thought they were named after Corey. Yeah. There's some wordplay on my name in here. Should be coming up. Oh, this is like my favorite one, cuz this one it totally rang true to me. The internet, fish need water. Corey. I'm not sure I agree. I'd have to see some studies on that. I definitely was like, oh man, I say that a lot. Because that's like not my cop out, but like anything, I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I'd have to test that or read a study. Like, yeah. But that one could not have been more truer to Corey, you know, like myself. Like that is, yep, you got me. Like that is, I say that a lot. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't remember who posted that one, but kudos to you. That one was on point. I always think about too, I'm like, wait, is everyone thinking this? Or is like this person a genius and I'm just oblivious to the fact that I say that every 4 minutes? Yeah, I don't know. Oh, here we go. Dora the Explorer, Corey Dora. Mm-hmm. Oh no, this is like a little series of these ones. You don't need a heater when you got a glorious mane like mine. I'll tell you, meow what. I loved the meow what part, like, because it plays on I'll tell you what from King of the Hill, and then you've got Meow Cat. Like I love when you start mixing memes and it's like you definitely got to go, wait, what? Why? Oh, that's hilarious. Like I love that. The subtlety of, oh man, that was good. Took some thinking on that. Another good shot of me in a live stream. Yeah, I'm using a cancer filter. And then the bottom, which you can't see, says, you mad? Ooh, another Dora. Dang it, Jimmy, you better clean the bathroom. If you watch that live stream where I ranted pretty hard about clean bathrooms, it's funny now. When I go tour different stores and farms and that kind of stuff, usually the people I'm with will be like, hey, you see that bathroom? They clearly didn't watch your live stream. And that's just further proof to me that everyone on the planet agrees clean bathrooms are a good thing. You know, like I don't think anyone is advocating for, no, I like my bathrooms horrible and disgusting with no toilet paper. It's great. Yeah. Ooh, I like that word. Sam Jessen says memeception. I like that. Maybe that's, yeah, memeception when a meme integrates into another meme. Memeception. I like that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why Jimmy is on the toilet, and I have no idea, like, if that Dora character is ever on a toilet, but yeah, I don't know. I don't make him up. I just look at him. Oh, what's Jimmy saying right now? His feet can't touch the ground. Oh man. I do enjoy the feeling cute memes. This one doesn't involve me, but I liked it. Feeling cute. Might chill at the bottom of the tank on my side so you think I'm dead. I don't know. Very accurate description of a clown loach. I like it. Ooh, here we go. Check it out, guys. I put myself in here so I could try and be hilarious in saying I'm a catfish. What I like about this is a subtle play on all the people that post on Instagram and Facebook and that kind of stuff where their cat jumps into their brand new aquarium and then they go, check out my catfish, guys. So I appreciate the internet savvy of someone who's been into fish for a while going, oh, here we go. A cat got in the tank. Let's cue up the joke. Maybe I'm just too hardened by the internet. Hey, are we in the ocean? No, the name is Oskin. Yeah. Joel, or Corvus Oskin, as he goes by on YouTube. Yeah, I, for a long time, thought it was ocean. A lot of people think it's ocean, but it's actually Oskin, which I think means like raven or bird or something. I don't even know. But, again, appropriate meme. Old picture. I wonder if I even found this, because there was nothing in the tank at that point. Like, that must have been like day 3 of it being there. So. Ooh, KG Cichlids are here. He's the one that makes a lot of these memes. Says, I'm driving to work. I'm glad I provided some laughs. This is the next couple. I don't know if it's the next couple, but there's a few coming up that really, like this one. I like this one. Man, I really have to stop using Easy Green as a deodorant. I just love the fact that, yes, that my armpit sweat got worked in, and the Easy Green. I'm gonna run this ad on Facebook. I guarantee we gotta sell some. And then this one, the first 7 times I've seen this one, I died of laughter. Order during this live stream and get Java Fern on Pit. And I just, like, the first time I read it, I had no idea. I was like, what is this? And then I realized, like, oh my god, hilarious. And I don't know, maybe I'm just a sucker for a good armpit meme that never seen before, but yes. By the way, use BeSafe10. Save yourself 10% on these armpit Java Ferns. Oh man. Ooh, this one we do need to spread this one around the world. And Taco Bell, if you're watching, let's make Aquarium Co-op, or let's take them to the next level. We need somehow, in some weird way, in the next like 10 years, that Taco Bell sponsors us to do anything. Because that's, like, I don't need a taco every day. I don't need anything. I just need somehow that a giant mega corporation would have like found their way through the internet to be like, all right, send this guy a taco care package or anything. Just because I think it'd be hilarious to win. Because who else has a giant taco hat from Taco Bell in their background? Come on, Taco Bell, come on. Ooh, Justin's got to go in Pit Sweat. It's what plants crave. One of my favorite movies, Idiocracy. I like that. While I'm in the chat, someone says, am I coming to Vivarium in the Netherlands? I have been invited, and I believe I will be going, but I have not bought tickets yet. So what I don't want you to go and buy tickets and expect me to be there and all that, and then be disappointed if I can't go. But the intention is that I would go at this point. Yes. So just know I'm going to try. So. All right. So this gets into memes. I don't know. I don't know if this was completely fabricated or if this is a meme that I just am not aware about. So this is where it's definitely like, oh, if this is offensive somehow, I didn't know this was an offensive thing already. But says, psst, over here, new strain of crinum. I'll throw in a cancer filter. I'll tell you what. And yeah, I can appreciate the fact that way in the back there's like a cat with, I think it might be Jimmy's face on it. You know, just that I don't know. I really love when you have to search for something like, oh yeah, okay, there's some plants, like that's kind of funny, and then like I think there's something here, and yeah, you gotta like zoom in to find some of this stuff. So I can appreciate the like the highlights magazine, gotta find where this thing is in the picture type of deal. So yeah. Yeah, someone said, is that Jimmy's head on the background of a dog? I don't know if it's a dog or a cat or a, yeah. Do I need to strong arm the competition for you to realize how awesome the prices are? I'll tell you a secret. You don't need a heater. I want to know if that's like, well, I don't think it's Zenzo's arm. I don't know. He could be that strong, but I thought it was hilarious to have the giant arm and then the normal arm, and then like these crazy feet. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I would say, whoever made this meme, I would have varied up the face and the back maybe. That being said, I'm way too lazy to make memes, so I'm critiquing something that I don't do. I just thought this one was awesome. Like that image in the coconut hut. I should probably use this as the product description. Oh, maybe I'll do that. Maybe we'll get this to actually be on our product page because I think it's hilarious. KG Ciclet says zoom in and it's Jimmy's Corey. It's Jimmy Corey. Okay, so it is Jimmy. Yes, he's like driving or pulled over or whatever. So, yeah. I just think if I could fit that into this, like me in the hole of the coconut, very subtly, of how many people would notice. Yeah. I'll do anything for D and zebras. Anything. Yes, I do love making the weird faces. I thought this one was appropriate. Yeah, if you could come in on Saturday and count all the snails, that'd be great. It's not too far off. We have to count plants a lot, and we do have people definitely coming in Saturday for the sale because we're going to be slammed tomorrow, and then we'll be slammed on Saturday as well. So definitely everyone gets the day off today, which is great, but then we have to, make up for it. So, and I do love office space. Who doesn't? Hey, this is Corey of ASMR. This USB nano air pump is so quiet it'll put you to sleep. Air stones. I like that it was air stones and aliens. Yes, as I said, I want to be remembered for getting everyone to use more air in their tanks. If that's my one legacy I ever leave, then so be it. So be it. Yes. You guys have fish questions? Let's talk about it. So this is a recent one. This one's from, I remember describing eating the taco last week. So, memes are current even, and now we're catching up to present day. Ooh, what's the term for that? Present day memology? Current day memes. Triggered when the person next to me on a flight is slurping their coffee. Yes, I can't even be in the same room as Jimmy when he eats or drinks coffee. We looked it up, and I can't remember the name of that thing, but I get horribly agitated when I hear people eating, and I know there's a term for it. And my own wife, it doesn't matter, and I wish there was a way to make that go away because I feel bad that I'm the guy that is always irritated, I guess. Yeah. Crunchy food, slurping of stuff. It's like nails on a chalkboard for me. I basically have to leave the room. It's not good. And on an airplane, I can't leave the room. So, yeah. Have to put in headphones. Oh, it's Corridora. I was like, how do I say this? It's almost uncomfortable how good this Photoshop is. Like that haircut, I'm pretty sure I could wear that haircut. Like it just looks like this is meant to be. Yes. So I think that's all the memes I had. I picked out, like that was quite a few. I didn't know how long it was going to take. Apparently it took like 30 minutes or something. So that worked out all right. And, if you guys want to participate in that meme type of thing, we'll do it there. Maybe we'll make some kind of meme Reddit or something where you don't necessarily have to watch what you're saying and doing all that kind of stuff. But I never knew if it would take off, and I still don't know if it will take off. Like, it slows down. I'm sure it'll go crazy for a little bit now that, you know, we did a meme review. But yeah. All right. That's pretty much all I had. So now I got to fill another 2.5 hours or whatever it is. Like we're going, like 2 hours and 50 minutes. Is that right? Yeah. I've not been able to tell time the last couple of days. I've been talking to other people that want to live stream after me, and I've been so busy. I keep giving wrong times and estimates and all that. So, but yes, I will take this time, buy our stuff. Oh, I don't know if I've ever talked about this stuff. Maybe I did. I think I did. But we do have the new Courser mini intake sponge pre-filter, and so this thing's been selling like hotcakes. Ooh, I can tell you what's been selling the most of today. Today would be, which is always fun for me because I like to see what you guys actually like to buy, so then I can, you know, learn about you. So today's top product, the number one selling product today is our Never Clog Airstone. We are selling those things awesome, and I think I've got a video I'm supposed to shoot, like a kind of an airstone comparison, air pump comparison, all that kind of stuff, and it'll sell you on them. Right now it's just like, yeah, you say they're great, they're probably great, right? But they are actually like way better than everything else, and once I'm able to quantify that in a video, it'll be even more so. The number two selling product of the day are nano USB air pumps. I saw some people talking about them in the chat. We're in this weird scenario where we're not really making money on them. So what I mean by that is we set the price low, we want to keep it low, and they're selling way faster than anticipated. And so we have to keep air freighting them over from China to us, and that's not cheap. So I think we do make like $1 on each one by the time we ship it out to you guys, but when they come from a cargo container, which I was in meetings for a long time yesterday, and I'll say that's one of our biggest frustrations now is someone missing deadlines in production and holding up an entire cargo container. As it stands right now, we've got, you know, so much money wrapped up into this, sitting in warehouses in China essentially, and we're basically going to have 2 or 3 cargo containers get on the water at the end of the month. Stuff has been done. Some of the stuff that I can't tell you that we're going to launch has been done for like a month already or more. And yeah, so we're learning about logistics, timelines, people missing deadlines, or a lot of these are new companies we never worked with. So now we can know, like, okay, they tend to miss their deadlines. We need to either stop working with them or order much more in advance. And yeah, so, but there's going to be a point, I think, basically about the beginning of September, where a ton of cool stuff's going to come in. We're going to be well stocked, and everything else is going to be like, oh, it's all falling into place. But right now it is, whew, yeah. So, oh, David says the face rub means stress. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that the amount of money that's just sitting somewhere that, like, I don't know, it's a lot of money that we've got all this product we paid for, and it's all sitting somewhere, and I can't sell it. It doesn't make sense to try and bring in other products. It's not on the water yet, and money is like way tighter than it should be. And so it's kind of one of those, it's like, oh, just get it here if once we can sell it, you know. Because meanwhile, like, imagine you've got thousands and thousands of these air pumps sitting at a port, but that cargo container can't leave until the next item fills up the rest of that container, right? And so meanwhile, you're selling a lot of air pumps, and we're air freighting them over, because we have 2 options. We have sit out of stock and disappoint you guys, or like fly them over and make like $1 every time we sell one, which isn't great, but it's not disappointing you guys. And I made it a priority in our company. So our previous priority was ship everything as fast as possible, and we've been accomplishing that and doing amazing. So now, without giving that up, like, the new attention is the least amount of out of stocks possible always. And so I made it a mandate that we actually have a meeting internally in the company every week and go over each out of stock item, and we want a plan of action on how do we solve this. What is the ETA? What's going on? Did we ask the wholesaler or the vendor, like, what's going on? What's the update, so that we can keep you guys informed? And it definitely lessened it. But we still are running into an internal problem with some things like Java moss and some of the plants. Some of the plants, typhoons hit the country they come from, and they're just not coming out. So there's nothing we can do about it. So we just keep checking in on that, trying to get a closer timeline. Things like banana plants, Pontigitans, the Java moss, some of the other mosses, all that stuff is kind of in that category of like, I reached out to some other vendors, and honestly, like, we had one vendor turn us down because they're like, we can't possibly, like, I already know we can't keep up with your demand. We don't want to disappoint you. Like, we have, we have pretty big demands just because it's like, oh, we need 1,000 of those. Oh, that's way more than we can ever produce. You should find someone else. Like, dang it. Okay. But yeah, so we're trying very hard because as a hobbyist, so as a hobbyist, I want to explain what I didn't like. I didn't like when my let's say like a kensfish.com or something like that back in the heyday when Ken's Fish was like the go-to place, when they'd be out of stock, and they kind of became a company that is like eternally out of stock on like 50% of what they carry, right? They carry everything under the sun, but only ever half of it's in stock at any one point. And so I'm trying to be, okay, we only carry this, but this is always in stock type of thing. And, so we're navigating our way. And part of the problem is you guys buy a ton, which is great. And that helps our buying power, but also it's a double-edged sword of like, we buy so much that, it's crazy to think that you could want to buy so much you get turned down. I never thought that could happen in business. I don't know if that's good or bad business practices. I can't even really wrap my head around it yet. I think it could be good, right? Because if someone came to us and said, I'll buy all the plants you guys ever have, that would be bad for us. We'd never get to sell you guys plants. So I could see how that could be bad, I guess. Plans for bringing co-op products to Canada after logistics are sorted. I'm still very interested in helping make that happen. I think our main pathway we're investigating right now is that we want to sell FBA, which would be fulfilled by Amazon. So they'll handle the warehousing, they'll handle the distribution and the shipping, and all we have to do, in theory, at this point, would be put special labels on each Easy Green, and then ship it to Canada, basically, and then they'll fan it out to their distribution centers, and then they'll ship it. Part of what we're going through is there are some laws in some of the, I don't know, I guess in Canada might be provinces, I think. Like Quebec, I think products sold in Quebec need to have French on it as well. So that means we have to, get directions printed up in French. Do we just put a sticker on the bottle? Is that a pamphlet that goes with it? So there's a few things, but, continually, like, if there's 100 things to do each week, like Randy's job is like, okay, and like number 100, look into Canada. And we get a little bit further each week. But there's some weeks where it's like, oh, geez, this and this and this and this happened. Uh-oh, didn't get time to look at it. So, someone asked me, did I like the salmon jerky? Yes, delicious. Big fan of the garlic and pepper one. The maple smoked salmon, or not, just salmon jerky was good as well. The dogs really perk up. They're like, what's going on in here? But so is my wife, going, she hates the smell of fish. So I've been eating it kind of when she's not around so much. So yeah. Let's see. There was something else I was gonna chime in on. Oh, does the 1 liter Easy Green come with a nozzle? No, it doesn't. Yeah, it's meant to refill. And on that note, one of the things we're doing, so again, we're like investing more money into infrastructure, right? Like you guys have seen Easy Green be at the $20 price level. Now we've got it down to $15. We're going to try and keep reducing the price. Now that's counterintuitive to everyone else's, not everyone, but most businesses would never do that. Their goal would be sell it at $20, sells really well, keep getting the buy price down for us, keep selling it at $20. Our goal is to find a sweet spot, maybe it's $15, maybe it's $12.99. We're trying to figure out where it sells best and helps the most amount of people. Like obviously if it's free, we go out of business. And if it's way too expensive, we don't make any money. But one of the things we're doing, we're investing $10,000. So that's literally $10,000 into bottles to be made from or in China and sent over. Now, again, people say, why don't you have that made in America? And yes, we looked into that. And the ones being made in America are very expensive, and they don't have the size and properties we want to the bottle. Now, that being said, the biggest cost in bottles is the shipping. And so it's actually very expensive to ship from, let's say, the Midwest, a cargo container full of bottles to, let's say the West Coast. And it costs about the same to go from China to the West Coast. Now, what we find is a lot of times the sample bottle that we'll get is literally just being resold. So the company they were going to manufacture it, a lot of them are just buying the bottles, landing them, and then they do manufacture bottles, but they don't manufacture every type of bottle. So they're just a reseller of the bottle. So it's actually not even like, this bottle's not even made in America, it's actually made in China. We may as well just buy it direct from the source. And so we're investing and spending like $10,000 at a time. What it does, it lowers our buy price by like 25 cents on what we pay. So it's not a huge savings, but if we can, once you get over that first $10,000 investment, and then we can keep it going, like that will lower pricing a little bit over time, right? And so again, just further kind of straining that. And someone was saying like, yeah, that's why you take credit. I don't believe, well, that's not true. I shouldn't say I don't believe. I don't want to run a business that runs off credit, and that's just because I think it makes us stronger for not needing to do that. We're not in a race, and at any time I want to be able to walk away from Aquarium Co-op, or if I was to get, let's say, killed or horribly injured while in Peru, I don't want to leave my wife and the employees and all that in a ton of debt and then worry about their jobs and everything. I would much rather, if something was to happen to me, all right, you guys have a completely non-debt business to run, even if it only runs at 50% compared to when I'm here, that still should provide for everyone's lives forever. And I talk about that a lot in our company meetings and that kind of stuff. I make decisions all the time that benefit our employees and the customer over my own pocketbook every day. One of the latest things I can announce, and employees wouldn't even know this yet, because we just finalized it on Monday. What's today? Wednesday? Yeah. Finalized it on Monday. We submitted the paperwork. Once I found out the cost of healthcare to people in my company that had families, so we were providing 75% to the employee. So that means if the insurance premium was I'm just going to use a round number here. It's not this much, but if it was $1,000, Aquarium Co-op would pay $750, and the employee would pay $250, right? And we chose very high level plans because I wanted great coverage for my employees. I was like, I want them to pay the least amount of money possible when it comes to if they get sick, they got to go in, they got to get meds, whatever it is. Like I want them taken care of. They take care of my business. I want to take care of them, right? And so what we found though is that people that had a family of, let's say, a couple of kids and a wife, right? Or a husband. So then it was 75% for the first person and 25% for each other person. Their bill was kind of high because it was only covering 25%. It was a very high level plan. And that was not my intention. My intention wasn't to create a financial burden for any of my employees or families. It was to actually help them. And so then I re-looked at it and we decided that we could do better than that. And so now what we're doing for the company is we're covering the first $1,000 of insurance premiums for every employee and family. So what that'll do, $1,000 will cover basically 100% of one employee. It'll cover 100% of an employee and their spouse. And then when they start having kids, there's like a little bit of money that goes there, and then they'll have to start covering some of it. And it was the only way that I could keep it fair. In my mind, keep it fair. Like, I didn't want it so that employees who were single, we paid 75%, but then an employee that had a family of 25, they were like, oh man, they get like $15,000 worth of coverage every month. I wanted to keep it kind of uniform and I didn't want to make it so that we penalize someone who was single and rewarded people that had a bigger family, or vice versa. There was a bunch of ways we could do it, and I thought the fairest way was we'll pay the first $1,000 towards their premiums every month. And so, yeah, I think that's going to work out a lot better, and it'll, it basically is like a raise essentially for every employee, which is, a good thing for them. And hopefully they'll continue to invest in our business, and we'll invest in them. And so, yeah, like, with new information, I'm always willing to change my mind. And, if Cancer Filters come out with some new info, I can change my mind on that. Same thing with employees, So I do stand behind the whole wanting to do it better thing, though. Like, that's very important. And I'm not willing to ever give that up. So yeah, if you guys are listening, if the employees are listening at home, then you basically just got a raise. Yeah, so, all right. What else can we do? I'd love to go to Peru with you. I could even be your cameraman, professional photographer here. I don't know if any spots are left open. I know Dean and I have paid. I believe Randy is going. It took a while for Randy to get on there because Randy had to pay his own way and that kind of stuff. Like, a lot of times people would assume that, like, oh, Corey will just pay because he works for the company and all that. But this is a personal endeavor to go to Peru for him. It's not a business thing. And so, yeah, and I want to be fair to employees. If I buy one person a vacation to Peru, I got to buy everyone a vacation to Peru. And so, and I'm very strict on being fair. So even like Randy, who might broker a $30,000 deal between Aquarium Co-op and a company, even he still has to pay for the products at the same rate that our part-time employee would. And it's just because I don't want to play any favoritism or anything like that. And so, it can be very annoying for certain key people of, like, I take care of all of these plants and blah, blah, blah. And you were gonna, put this on sale anyway and blah, blah, blah. It's like, yes, but we need to be fair. And so that's the way it's going to be. And, yeah, the only person that gets stuff for free is me. And it's not that I don't even get it for free. Like, if I use this in the fish room, we still pay the taxes. I still had to buy it and everything. So it's not free. It's just, if I pay, if this is $25 and then I take 30% off for the employee discount, which all employees get, and it comes to, let's say $20, that $20 kind of goes through the machine, right? And eventually at the end of the year, it's like, hey, here's your money back. So it doesn't make sense for me to buy my own product. Everyone else, though, it does. And yes, even though that money funnels back into their paycheck, it keeps everyone fair and honest. And that being said, at this day and age, I don't take that much out in terms of product. It's very rare that I actually need to. Other than we're setting up some stuff in the fish room, so that's good. Oh, I'm being told to knock on wood so I don't die in Peru. Fair. That's fair. I will try not to. That's why I'm training. If you guys have been watching, this is a good thing too. If you've been watching on the YouTube stories, I've been doing that a little bit more, kind of figuring out how it works, and you guys can ask questions and I can do video responses, which I'm already in love with. So if you go to that story thing, you can see, like, I was working out at the gym, and then I was showing you my ponds that I'm setting up, and then people are asking questions and I'm answering some of them. And I didn't look at it this morning, but I answered some last night, and I plan to keep doing that. We'll see if it works out well, but quite a few, like on the first one, 15,000 people looked at it, which I'm like, hey, that's enough. That's a lot. And so, yeah. But yes, for Peru, I hired a personal trainer just to get me in shape. And, my goals are to be in shape for Peru. Not that I couldn't do it last time. It's that it's a good excuse to be like, all right, let me get, So even today, on the 4th of July, I'll be going to work out with the trainer. And, I feel like it's pretty intense. Like, I'm sure if Zenzo was standing next to me, he'd be like, yeah, it's not that intense. But the 1 hour workouts leave you just, like, insanely fatigued. And so he's doing his job well, I feel like, because I feel like I'm getting very strong very quick. So do we need weekend part-timers? We don't. So part of the problem is the way I'm kind of figuring out the way we set up our company. We need full-time people because we do have some part-time people, and inherently there's only a little bit of room for part-time. Well, the way we grow, we either need people, like we need 5 more shifts or kind of not. Like the part-timer, the weekend part-timer, here's the problem. When people go on vacation, typically, like, we've got a bunch of people on vacation this month, and they'll be gone for 4 or 5 days. A weekend person will cover 2 of those. We still have 3 uncovered days. And if we have 2 weekend people, well, yeah, we can cover 2 different shifts on the weekend, but nothing over here. We need full-time people so we can plug in the right people. And, so I think we have roughly 1 weekend spot, and we utilize that. We already have someone that does a great job for that. And so if that freed up, maybe. But the reality is we need more full-time people, and I believe we'll be hiring, before like October. So, we've got like 3 months. We'll probably be hiring about 1 person a month until October. So we're probably going to hire on about 3 more people to get ready for the demand of Christmas season and all that. And so, yeah. Which I always tell people, you're more than welcome to apply. At this point, realize we get an insane amount of applicants. And we do like people to have, aquarium info already. We like good background history of, like, you worked at a place for a long time and all that. And it's easy for people to get offended when we don't hire someone. Like, you don't realize you were part of a great group of candidates. It's not that we don't think you're great. It's that we made this choice. And it's not even me anymore. It's Randy. But I do encourage people to apply, because there are people now that we're coming back to for, it's like 8 months later, and we're going, hey, you actually were like number 4 in line. Are you still interested? So, yeah. All right. Losing my voice here. Can a ropefish live with a betta and tetras? Yes. And I say yes in that bigger bodied tetras and the betta, like, you'd want a bigger tank, but for the most part, ropefish can only eat what fits in their mouth, and their mouths aren't that big. So you could set up a tank and being mindful and make that setup work. It's not a traditional setup, and I wouldn't make a video like, oh, ropefish and bettas are perfect together. Like, I'm not saying that, but when someone says, can something be done? Then I go, well, yes, it could be, but we got to really be, proactive in making sure that's going to work and all that. So, yeah. All right. What else? So, yeah, I'm thinking about doing some not new videos, like some older style videos where I'm hanging out more in the fish room. I'm thinking about doing some more vloggy stuff. I'm less motivated to make more like, here's top 10 fish, here's how to cure your fish and all that. Like, we're at 800 videos plus at the moment, and I do enjoy traveling the world and filming stuff, but at the same time, outside of that, like the unboxings, I haven't done in a long time, and I will do some unboxings, but we're going to take a break, probably most of the summer from the unboxings, and we just dialed it back so I can kind of like, okay, what is it I want to do now? Like, what's the next thing? I enjoy the live stream still. Yeah. So I feel like if I'm playing in the fish room more, then that's always a good thing. Like, I'm testing more products, I'm playing with them, I'm showing you guys stuff. And so that's the direction I'm going to go for a while, at least while I have the passion for it. And somehow I get that passion randomly. And I feel like when I travel a lot, then I have less time for the fish room, and I lose interest, because it's like, oh, if I can't hatch out brine shrimp, and I can't, scrape the algae down, and I can't dose fertilizers for weeks at a time, like, I'm just losing momentum. And so, like, right now, I haven't traveled, and I won't travel for like another month, and I feel like, wow, this is amazing. It's weird to me that at this point in the career, not traveling for 6 weeks, I feel like a new man. Like, just even what I'm getting done, like, yeah, I'm excited because, like, someday this weekend, like, I've got some meetings I got to do tomorrow. Saturday, I think I'm going to go film Bentley Pasco's fish room, but I think Sunday I'll have time to build our barbecue. And if I can build that barbecue, then we can start doing stuff outside, but it's always weird to me, like, that's the point I'm at. I'm like, I'm excited to get to build a barbecue so that I could eat outside for an hour. Like, that's the craziness I live. And at 6 weeks off, I feel like, wow, maybe I should do more of this less traveling thing. Meanwhile, more requests than ever coming in. Like, oh, we need you to come to our club. We need you to come to this event. We need you to do this. Blah, blah, blah. We'll pay and all that. And, but I don't want to disappoint people. That's the crux. Robert the Butcher! Ooh, maybe we can get some Futurama memes. He's got Bender on there. Happy 4th of July. Love you guys have always. Oh, love that you guys have always been so transparent to the community. Glad you keep improving not only for your employees but the hobby as well. Yes, that's I had a meeting the other day where I basically told people I don't need this business. Like YouTube, you guys, we make good money here, so I could just be like, close up shop, move to wherever the cheapest living is, and show you guys videos all the time. So what my point was the business is mostly for helping the community and the hobbyists and the employees, right? Like, that's what we're really trying to do. And so if it's just about making money, I should close all that down because it takes up a lot of time, right? Running the whole online store, retail store, all of that aspect takes up a ton of time. And I could focus a lot more on education, that stuff online. But if I want to be the positive change, we have to be doing that. And so that's why I can justify, we will pay more health insurance, we will do this, we'll make this decision even though it makes us less money. There's just stuff we got to do. We had a great meeting yesterday with someone from the post office, and they confirmed some things for us. So they were able to confirm that first class mail ships exactly the same as priority mail. So we were worried about that because we were worried that if we shipped, I don't think I have anything light enough. Okay, yeah, if we shipped this in a first class little envelope, and we might only have to pay like $2 to ship it, and we'd save money. We'd be like, yes, right? But we were afraid that it would ship slower than priority because I did some testing, I did some tracking, and a couple times that happened. And so I thought, oh, it doesn't ship the same. But they confirmed it all hits the same bins, it's all going the same place. Like, they 100% said if it's light, ship it first class, it's going to go the same. So we were very excited for that. And we also learned if we can do, well, we already do this, like we just learned, but if we ship $200,000 worth of shipping, which we already do that in a year, so crazy thing to think about, we're like at $250,000 worth of shipping fees. But if we can slim it down to like a couple box sizes, USPS will actually brand them for us, which I thought was amazing. So like if you get a box from eBay and it'll say like eBay on it, but it's a priority white box and it's U.S. postal box, but it could be Aquarium Co-op. So we're excited for that. We're gonna get some information on it. I have no idea. Does that take 4 years to set up, or does it take 10 minutes? I don't know. But very productive meeting. Going all right. I mean, it doesn't save us any money, but if right now we just send you a white box with our tape on it, may as well have a white box with our logo and our tape on it, right? So it's kind of a little bit of an upgrade, if you will, I guess, a tip of the hat. Yeah, always trying to improve on little things. We've got quite a few things in the works. Like I've got a new battle plan for winter shipping. Like I already thought we had the best plant shipping. That's just my own opinion, because we always included heat packs for free and styro liners for free. And I think I've got the next wave of it. But I want to make sure I get it in and we test it before A, I announce it, and B, I don't want my competitors to steal it and beat me to the punch. So got to make sure it all rolls out in a timely manner. So yeah. Ooh, the like spike, good idea, Chris Swan. All right, on a countdown from 5, we are going to hit the like button and make a like spike happen, and hopefully trigger the algorithm to go, hey, surface this nerd to the rest of the world. You guys ready? All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Like spike. That's right. Hopefully they come in right at this moment and they see like, wait a second, the guy's wearing the Thug Life glasses. Real time? What? Yeah. Everything's on sale? Yes, Dylan. Everything's on sale. Whether it's an expensive light, whether it's a plant, whether it's apparently a USB air pump that at this point I just realized if we sell it for $8 and we know we're only making $1, we're gonna make 20 cents instead of $1. But hey, load up on everything, because there'll be sales few and far between, but it'll be on specific items probably. It'll be like, oh, geez, we are overstocked on this, or we're discontinuing that type of thing. But we're really trying to steer the whole business towards, this is just the pricing every day. We don't want you guys to have to wait around for a sale. We don't want you to have to feel like you missed out or anything like that. Just like, it is what it is. And we think that if we can keep lowering prices on stuff and bringing best prices we can get as we grow, if we sell 4 billion of these, we can go back to the manufacturer and go, hey, we need a better price. But until we do that, they just go, no, you don't. So, but I think we're showing that we do lower prices when we can, and so I think that's starting to have an impact. Like I saw a competitor today put out an email 4th of July sale. They've restructured their pricing on stuff, and it looks like we may have had an impact on that. I can't say, like, I don't want to pretend like, oh man, I'm having an impact on that, but it just seemed like my guess would be the sales in that product have probably gone down a little bit for them, and that they need to help, or not help, they need to match closer to it to be able to keep the sales. And it's a double-edged sword for me, because what I know that a year ago or 2 years ago, I couldn't have brought my prices down, right? And so it's a double-edged sword in that, one, we're making the price cheaper for all the hobbyists. That's a good thing. But then a worse thing, I think, is, or not a worse, but a bad part of it is, if, like 2 years ago, if I was forced to be competitive, I had to lower my prices and I wouldn't make any money, that'd be a bad scenario for me. And so I get it. Like, I don't want to put anyone out of business, but I also want to see the hobby grow and be more affordable and all that. So it's a weird dynamic there of like, by making one thing better, we're making one thing slightly worse, and hopefully like it just all balanced out and gets figured out. Like, I'm not trying to be, a Walmart or anything like that, or just like someone, or maybe like a Google's a better example, or a Facebook. Like, I don't want to just dominate the entire field. That's not what we're trying to do. We just want to do our piece really well and make it better, right? So, yeah. So I definitely, I feel both sides of, like, as a hobbyist and as a business person, and then we're kind of in the middle. Like, yes, we're a business and a hobby, but I get it from both sides, and so yeah. That's why a lot of times I'll promote my competitors, because I realize if we're doing well, if we're doing really well, our competitors probably not doing as well, and I don't want to see them go out of business, because competition's healthy. It keeps us, if everyone else dropped out of the hobby, we could be tempted by money and like, oh, we'll just leave the prices the way they are, blah, blah, blah. And, a competitive environment is good for all businesses and all customers. So, yeah. All right. I love the plants I just got. Just need to get a bigger tank when I can afford one. Then more plants. I think the $1 sale's on, right? Or maybe it just starts. But if you have a Petco, should be. I think it's gone right now. Someone shared it to the group and I saw it. So, how long was this live stream? How long is it going to be? I think I'm gonna go till noon. So my time. That would be another hour and 15 minutes. And because then, yeah, I gotta get ready and go train. It feels weird to say train, because it's not just working out. Like, someone is in charge of making sure that I am ready for Peru, and I told them to show no mercy, and they are showing no mercy. Like, it's awesome though. Like, the amount of strength. Like, I've only been doing it, I think this will be like my 4th or 5th appointment. Like, I go to the gym a few times. Like when I shared that picture, I was there on an off day, right? So doing my own stuff, and the amount of strength I've built just in like a week and a half, which I'm sure to like bodybuilders are like, this guy is lying or whatever. Like, I don't know how fast strength is supposed to be built or whatever, but even myself, I can see a huge difference in a very short amount of time, which is mind-blowing to me, because I've worked out in the past, but never with a personal trainer. And, it's weird to do, like, let's say you just hop on the treadmill for an hour. You get off, you're like, yeah, I worked out for an hour. But with a trainer, after that hour, it's like, as I told him, I was like, it's like I dug an entire koi pond the day before. That's how sore I am. And you do that every time. It seems like it's a crazy efficient way. And so I'm very intrigued by it. So, Oh yes, just put an order in. Those moss balls are pretty cool. Yes, that was actually our third most sold item of the day is moss balls, and that would be one thing I would point out that somehow we have a source from one of the farms. We're selling the moss balls cheaper than another place we buy from. So at $3, we are cheaper than one of our other farms. We buy plants from them, but their moss balls are more expensive than $3 each. So, yeah, our moss ball pricing, I think, is very, very good. So, oh man, Bentley, you got to work today? Sorry, buddy. Or maybe you're just prepping for the fish room tour on Saturday. All right. What else we got? Garlic? Corey, thank you. I don't know what that means. Garlic, Corey, thank you. I must be missing something. Can I share my fish vendor? The 5 pet stores near me can never get in the fish you get. No, I don't share our vendors. 1, because I don't want to make it so we can't get fish. 2, because it probably won't do anything. If I tell you my vendor and your fish store has different water, those fish will probably do terrible in that water. So it potentially opens us up to like not make as much money because our vendor will run out of stock. And 2, it wouldn't necessarily help you. Like I was consulting with someone who wants to open up a fish store, and they kind of asked the same question. I was like, well, I really need to know your water parameters. That's gonna be, different farms. Like I can tell you, like seagrass farms, right? Terrible in our water, but in a hard water state, great, right? So I don't order from them, so I'm not worried about losing. Like, oh, they sold out of stingrays. What are we gonna do now, right? But yeah. So that's why we don't share vendors, and not every vendor wants to be known, by the way. There's a lot of vendors that get very angry if they had the public just knocking on their door. So we respect their privacy, and it also doesn't make business sense for us. And a lot of times, like, I personally am convinced if you have 5 stores local to you and they can't get the fish I get, they're not trying very hard. Because I can get the fish I can get from like 40 different sources. So most often when I go and audit a business, like, oh, you're just lazy. Oh, you mean no one will drive it to your doorstep for you? Yeah, you're going to have to, like, we go to the airport several times a week, right? Myself, my wife, Robert, we go to the airport in the middle of the night, we pick stuff up, we bring it back. Like, that's work. It for sure is work. And there are plenty of vendors that will literally just drive it to our doorstep, but their selection isn't the same as importing it from around the world, right? And so, I would wager that if those 5 stores can't get better fish, they're not willing to go through the steps. And that, like, even if I gave them the source, that's not going to help them, So, what's the plan for Peru? Our current plan is we be on the boat for like 5 or 6 days. So this one is a river cruise where you sleep on the boat, you live on the boat, you take a little skiff and you go collect. We're on the actual big main river, and you go and you collect, and we're going to catch fish, we eat them. We also can bring them back if we want and do all that kind of stuff. And then we go back to, I want to say, Iquitos, and we're there for 2 or 3 days. And the goal is to like visit the local market, visit like a fish wholesaler. And, my goal is to really bring back more than just fish footage. I want to more show what is Peru like? What is a trip like that like? And I think I'm willing to give up viewers to do that, right? So what does that mean? That means instead of getting like 100,000 views, I'm willing to get 50,000 views, but now you guys actually see more of what's going on in Peru. Like you can actually see the way people are living and all that. So that way when I go and I talk about if you remove the ability for these people to collect cardinal tetras in the wild, this person starves to death, right? Like it's one thing just to say that. It's another thing to be like, oh, I get it. I can actually see like the cost of living and just where people are at and what a supermarket's like. Like that's my favorite thing to do when I go to different countries is go to the supermarket, whether it's like a 7-Eleven or like a grocery store, because there's insane amounts of stuff you've never seen before. And it's kind of fun to buy food. You're like, I like the way that looks. Let's try it. Huh. I thought that was peanut butter. Turns out it's soy sauce, or just like whatever. Like it's kind of fun to play Russian roulette with food. What are you doing?
I got you a cheese pizza because I'm rad.
All right. I have cheese pizza. Ah. Well, thank you. So that's the plan, and Dean's coming along, and we want to do, depending on what the hotel has available, we want to do like buy stuff at the market and like cook a dinner, because Dean by profession is a culinary instructor, and so it'd be kind of cool to like go to the market and be like, oh my god, that's a Goldie Pleco. Could you make something out of that? And then like, let's get these fruits and these vegetables and this. Let's make a meal. And then like the ideal thing would be like, look at that, we caught X in the wild. We didn't actually eat it then, but then we saw it in the market. We bought that and we cooked it. And we're like, oh, all right, tastes, like last time in Peru I had pacu and that kind of stuff, and so I'm an adventurous eater. Not that I necessarily like it, but I'll take a bite of nearly anything and go, oh, yeah, that's food, I guess. So, yeah. All right. Ram cichlid care. If we're talking about like German blue rams or just like gold rams, basically Ramirez I would keep them at 84 degrees and then feed them foods that aren't too high in protein. So maybe like brine shrimp, limited bloodworms, some pellets. Any of that would work. Yeah. What was it? Oh, do I think a beta sorority is good? No, I think they are terrible. And it's 1 out of 100 people that can make it work for longer than a year. And most people and websites, you'll see that it doesn't work out. People that they might go, well, it's working fine for me. It's like, yeah, you've had it for like 6 months. Eventually, they end up getting egg bound. They end up fighting too much. There's like a myriad of problems that go on. And yes, 1 out of 100 people are going to be like, well, my tank works out fine. And I totally get that. But when 99 out of 100 people that set up a 20 long with 7 female betas and it's a tornado of death, odds aren't great, right? So that's where I come in and I go, odds are I'm not a fan. That being said, yes, you can make anything work if you try hard enough and you have the right skills. So wait, happy birthday at Steamfod Aquatics? Did someone just say it's his birthday? Is that true? I gotta go to Facebook. Hold on. Facebook will tell me. Is that a true statement? I'm looking right now. I don't have doesn't have a birthday next to you, a little birthday cake? I think Bob's trolling us. I bet his birthday is like leap year. He's probably trolling us. Yeah, he's in August. See? That's what I thought. Bob, you ain't got nothing. Whoa. New member, KB Aussie 59 Waldo. Say that 5 times fast. Yeah. Oh, I gotta ask Candy, not Facebook. Candy's got everyone's birthday on lockdown. Believe you me. So, Corey's Rants totally explained on how my fishes survive for years without aeration and filters during my school days. I didn't even know what they were. Yeah, I mean, fish. Do I have? I think I have. Yeah, I had a. So I have a pond. I'm giving a couple of ponds to. All right, I'm gonna do the thing I hate. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna eat and I'm gonna talk. I already apologized to anyone that has the same problem I do, where it's like it's gonna sound horrible, but I'm conflicted because I feel guilty that Jimmy brought this in. My wife probably made it, and now I'm not gonna eat it. It's gonna get cold, and then they're gonna be like, "Oh, why didn't you eat it?" And so I'm disappointing them, and I'm a little bit hungry. So, but I'm gonna explain this. Hopefully my settings are correct and that you don't hear it. But we're giving some ponds to Bob, and there's fish in them that I hadn't done a water change on in like 18 months. The plants are way overgrown. It was just rainwater. Pine cones this thick in there. Yeah, and we had platinum rice fish, and they were reproducing. No food went in. I didn't know they were in there. I think they transferred with some plants. I think we moved to plants and the eggs went. But that's what spawned the new fish room ideas. I want these totes that essentially, if I can neglect them for 18 months and they're breeding and thriving and having fun, imagine if I set up an auto feeder and I change water once a year and there's some plants, then I can make a lot of fish. That's what I want to do. So what I'm trying to do is marry the two ideas. Man, eating and talking was a horrible idea. I'm just going to finish. All right. So what I want to do is I want to beef up the numbers, because obviously no water changes and no food and all that kind of stuff will only let a population get so big in a captive environment, right? And outside we had bugs falling in and that kind of stuff. So inside, I plan to use it's like a 250 gallon tote or something like that. And we use 1 nano USB air pump, a sponge filter, and like an auto feeder. And from there, I'm gonna get some plants going. I think the plant of choice right now in my mind, I've been putting it together. I've been having a lot of fun going, what am I gonna do? Is water sprite. I'm gonna make it float. Which I don't know if we have water sprite in stock, anyway. And then I want to get like a tub filled with guppies. I ordered fish last night, or no, 2 nights ago actually. I ordered what was it? I ordered tiger teddies finally, a fish I've never had, which a live bear that I've never had. That's pretty crazy because it's been a long time. I'd never been willing to pay the money, and these ones were only like $40 for a pair shipped. And I say only, but I've seen them be much more expensive than that before. And then I ordered gold head-randed for most of the least killifish. And so I don't know that I'm going to give those giant totes, but I want to get more live bears. Basically, I want to make fish, and I'm going to breed more of the rice fish. I'm convinced that the rice fish should be very popular in the United States or any market. I'm fascinated by them. I love that they can overwinter outside here on the West Coast for us. They're good looking. They're easy to breed. And I don't see any reason they shouldn't be $5 in a store, but my wholesale price on them is more than that. When they show up, I haven't seen them in like a year. So I'm thinking I can start mass producing these, and as I slowly sell them out through the store, more and more people have them, and hopefully they'll just become commonplace, because a lot of other, well, like Japan and that kind of stuff, they're very prevalent, and I just think they're amazing. And maybe I'm the only one that thinks they're amazing, but I really like them, and at least Japan loves them also. So, it's not just me, but that's kind of why your fish survive without filtration. All that is in limited quantities. You can get a balance going. Algae will grow, but typically we put the balance off by feeding too much, keeping too many fish, letting it get too hot. Something just goes wrong. So, what about bitterlings? I've played with bitterlings. Bitterlings are expensive, the Chinese bitterlings, and they're a little too aggressive for my taste. Yeah, we will sell them in the store every once in a while, but yeah. Fish Tank Bar says, difference between golden teddies and tiger teddies. I believe the golden teddies are a platy, like they're a Xiphosphoros species, and the tiger teddies were like elegans something. I don't know their scientific name, but like the tiger teddies are only going to get like an inch max, where I don't know the other size, but it's a completely different fish from what I know. Will I use garlic in my fish tanks? I don't use any garlic. Sometimes Foods has it, and I'll feed it with that, but I don't like do anything specifically with, with garlic. So they had a rice fish with the pond fish at Kohler Zoo, Germany. I do want to try adding some rice fish to my koi pond. I'm not sure if they'll get eaten or not, so I want to make up a bunch and then like release some and see if it does well. Because I when I see koi with small fish, like at Rusty Wessel's house, it looked really cool. He had swordtails and koi and all that. I thought it was really cool. So, yeah. Adult koi in a 300-gallon tub. The problem, the definition of adult is what comes down to. So, an adult koi at 30 plus inches, probably none in a 300-gallon tote. If you're talking like, oh, they're like 14 inches because they got stunted, you could probably keep like 3-ish, but it does come down to, are we okay with stunting a fish? Aren't we? All those types of things. So, and that's to each their own on that. I'm not saying we should or shouldn't. They also have short-bodied versions of koi, which I think look pretty cool. Never kept one, so I don't know if like they're viable or not. But yeah. Do another video on my guppies, cardinal tetras, neon tetras, mollies, platies, and how to take care of them. I mean, I don't know that I need more videos. Like, I think I have a video on guppies, several on guppies. Cardinal Tetras and Neon Tetras, I have that video. I have a Molly care video. I don't know if I have a Platies care video, but I'm not sure if I'm really feeling, feeling the make those types of videos right now. Maybe in the winter when I just want to do a bunch. It comes in waves. A lot of times I have to basically wake up and go, today I'm going to film videos. I'm going to sit here all day and just make video after video after video after video after video, and then turn over to Jimmy so he can edit them and get the B-roll footage and do all that. But I got to be in the right mood, because if I'm not in the right mood, the videos don't come out very well, because I'm not very excited to talk about the fish. And so, yeah. Water wisteria hard to propagate? No, it's a common stem plant. All you got to do is anywhere on the stem, cut it, put that into the gravel. It'll grow roots from that. If you let it float, it'll kind of grow roots out of the side. Very easy plant. That might be one of the ones we bring back sometime, but the immersed form and the submerged form look so different. A lot of people are complaining. Even though it converted for them, they were angry that it looked different from the picture. How do you know if a tank is overstocked? I'm trying to think of a real life scenario. I think it's individual. Like, how much time you have. If you have time to change water every day, you can keep way more than I can, right? I don't want to change water every day, let's say. But you can hit physical limits. A good example. I don't consider that koi fish farm video to be overstocked. There is trained professionals overseeing the entire system. The health was very high and all that. And one thing, so I didn't want to make a video where I sat there defending the koi farm all day long, right? Because I don't think that made a good video. So instead, I'd rather talk about it now. What people aren't realizing, right? So we went and we did that koi farm, and the stocking level was high, right? I don't think it was overstocked, but realize when we went, that would have been in what, May, June? Did we go in June or May? I think we went May 18th or something like that. So at May, right? That is the height of their season. What do I mean by that? That means they know they're going to do all of their sales in May, June, July, August, right? Because in our markets like UK and America and that kind of stuff, like that's when our warm months are. Okay, so if we know we're going to have this huge demand over these 3 or 4 months, we have to gear up the previous months. So when you hop in at May, that's the highest stock those things are ever going to be, and they're going to leave at a rapid pace, right? So like in May, they might sell 50% of all the koi they're going to sell. And then in June, they sell, 20%, and then 20% and 10%, or whatever, those numbers work out to be. But we were basically there at the pinnacle of this is as many as we could have, and then it's gonna be selling out pretty quick from that point on. And so, being that they have a professional team and their livelihood is on it, they're really making sure that they're healthy. And I think that's kind of our personal decision is, am I keeping it healthy? So if you go and look at my tanks, most of them at my house, you'd be like, there's nothing in here. And I would come back with, I've got no time. You're like, there's literally like, 6 bushfish that are this big, or 4 bushfish that are this big in a 29-gallon tank. Like, yep, but they're happy and healthy, right? I'm not looking to push it to the edge. Whereas if I'm really active in the fish room, the same tank could have 150 guppies. But I'm hatching out baby Brian, we're water changing every day, we're really maintaining it. And so that's, I think, your participation level is the biggest factor in deciding what's going to be overstocked and what's not. So, yeah. Hey Corey, I've been looking to upgrade my air pumps. Do you think it's more efficient to run one large air pump like a Gemco or 10 of the nano air pumps? Happy 4th of July. So on that, I've been thinking about that. And I don't have an official answer yet. So a Gemco pump in general is expensive compared to, let's say, like the nano pumps. 10 nano pumps runs you $80. I think the cheapest Gemco pump is 180, maybe, right? So inherently more outlay with the Gemco pump. More capacity though also. But you also have to build like a manifold system to get the air to each spot. It's not modular like the nano air pumps would be. The Gemco pumps already have like a 30-year track record of being like bulletproof. The USB air pumps only have roughly a year, right? But what if they all burn out on year 2? We don't know, right? So if they burn out in 2 years and you're going to keep a fish room for 10 years, the Gemco pump for sure is better. If you're only going to keep a fish room for a year or 2 years, you actually probably are better off buying the nano air pumps. Now, in my fish room, I'm going to run both. And that might seem a little weird, but one, I want to run this experiment so I have the answer for this, in a year or two and go, hey, here's what I actually think. And two, I've got all the air hidden behind my cabinet work, and I'd have to come out of that and loop it around the room and have all these lines drop it into the ponds. Or I can just kind of hang this USB nano pump right next to the pond and plug it in and have air still. And like outside, it didn't make sense to like run this big air pump, connect it to the outside and run it out there. I just have a USB air pump on each one of those. So yeah, I don't know. In terms of efficiency, I think technically, like watts wise, the USB nano pumps would be, until you get to be running like 50 tanks or more, right? Money wise, I think you can go either way. What I really do like, and I've said this in a lot of videos, I think you should build a fish room kind of one tank at a time instead of building like 50 tanks, buying, a big air pump, 50 air stones, 50 sponge filters, 50 lights. Like take it one at a time so that way after the first 3 tanks you go, oh, I actually like this size of tank, or oh, I actually like this filter. And so you're not committing giant lump sums of money, right? And so like maybe in this fish room, maybe you set up 2 or 3 tanks, you've got 2 or 3 USB air pumps. And then if you know you're going all in crazy, you jump to that Gemco air pump. Meanwhile, you'll still have 2 or 3 of those air pumps. You can take them off and now you've got transporting fish. You've got power outage air pumps, like they're still good. And that's one of the things I want to work on is how cheap could I make a battery backup setup for all of my nano air pumps that the end consumer like you guys could take advantage of. It's one thing to say, go set up a generator and do all this. Like, yes, we know that. But what if we could get like one little battery bank and it costs $80 and it'll run X amount of pumps for X amount of hours and do X amount of things? Like that might be better, maybe. So I want to investigate that, and part of me investigating that is actually trying it. It's one thing to theory craft and just be like, yeah, this plus this plus this, you should do that. It's another thing to go, yeah, but here's what I found. I actually found that this part was a pain. So, by doing it and setting it up, I think you learn a lot more. Tips on encouraging bronze corridors to lay eggs. They are full-sized and chubby, but never catch any eggs. Got a group of 12. I would get yourself, maybe not this blend, but some Repashy food. Ugh. I would get like maybe the community blend and start putting big old chunks in there that take them 8-10 hours to eat. And usually, like even though they're fat and healthy right now, the abundance of food lets them know, like, have babies now. There's food everywhere. They're gonna survive. That's been my trick, is either giant amounts of Repashy or like big groups of live blackworms. That being said, if you're feeding a lot, you gotta do extra water changes. That helps them spawn also. But that's what I would be doing to induce breeding action. So, Cory cats on Eco Complete or no? Yes, they can go on there just fine. I would feed foods that don't settle down in very deep. I would do things like bloodworms, brine shrimp, wafers that don't break down, all that kind of stuff. That's what I would do, is just focus on foods that like to sit on top but not fall down into all the cracks. They have to, because corridors will burrow down past their eyes if they have to, looking for food. Key word is if they have to. They don't have to, they just eat right on the top. So yeah. Any new hat colors coming soon? Would love a navy blue one. Ryan, we used to sell the navy blue one. No one bought it. And by no one, I mean it's like, okay, we sold 500 of the black one. Oh, we sold 12 of the blue one, huh? Hey. But yes, we probably will bring out more stuff. We're looking, it's on the to-do list, like find someone to handle merch for us and design and all that. And it's just, it's weird to like, all these things make money and are good. I have to prioritize them. And so it just keeps like, that's kind of surfacing in that middle level of like, it's not high priority, it's not a low priority. It's just, stuff keeps falling in above it, kind of. Best food for pygmy cories. I really like rapashi. I like frozen cyclops a lot. What else? Maybe the Sarah Onip tabs. And I mean, they'll eat almost anything. So I feed them a lot of fry food as well, like the Aquarium Co-Op fry food, but they'll eat almost anything. Could a broken cap for a dirted tank cause a rise in nitrate? A broken cap, like a broken root tab cap? Dirted tank cause a rise in nitrate. If it is, a root tab, technically yes, it could release some ammonia, especially if it's osmocote based. Release ammonia and that get converted into nitrate, but I wouldn't. Oh wait, a broken cap, as in the dirted tank, and then you've got the capping layer, cause a rise in nitrate. Technically yes, but I think it's just water changes. So there's a lot of nutrients in there. Water changes get your plants to grow a little faster. Yeah. Max size tank for a USB air pump. I've been able to test it. It worked fine in my 800 gallon at 40 inches deep. I had some other people say it worked in their like 180 gallon tanks. So I think it's very efficient at pumping pretty deep. That being said, I want to quantify what is max tank size, because some people would say, what size air pump do I need to provide enough oxygen for 800 gallons of water? So one USB air pump with an air stone would probably not dissolve enough oxygen for an 800 gallon system. That being said, it can pump that deep, but in a system like that, I might run 3 or 4 type of air drops into it, right? And one thing you could do is you could go buy, like we sell them on our website now, and that is the oxygen test kit. And you could test it, then you could put one USB air pump in it, test it, a week later, and if it's at max saturation, you only needed one, right? But if it wasn't, then you need to add more. The other thing to remember is the more fish and stuff you have, the more air you might need, right? So just because you have an air stone and it's working out great now, but then we have twice as many fish down the road, we might need to inject twice as much air because they're consuming air. Just like if we have twice as many fish, we know to feed twice as much food, but we need to feed twice as much oxygen as well. So, ooh, we got a new member. I was going to say Ryan Melling. Welcome to the team. Do a ZISS filter run correctly if turned sideways in a tank? So no, the way it works is you need air to rise up, and as that bubble goes up, it forces the media to move, right? So if we're sideways and you inject the air and it comes in the side, it just kind of wants to like sit there and eventually it'll go glump, right? But you could technically find some perfect like angle. You might be able to get away with that. I haven't tested it extensively, but in theory the air would come in and it should get it going, but it might take more air. Like here, less air will really get it going. Might take more air at an angle though. Yeah. That's my best thing. Again, that goes back to I should really test that, because then I can give you a much better answer of like, oh yeah, it works great. Or, oh, it looks terrible. What kind of puffer species for a 29-gallon community tank? With a community tank, you don't have a whole lot of options. You could maybe do a pea puffer if it'll leave them alone, or possibly a Shodenai puffer, or possibly an Amazon puffer. Yeah, the Anellis. All right. Hi, I'm from Kuwait. I'm new to plant tanks. I bought Echinodorus cordifolius fluitans tropical. However, the leaves are turning brown in spots. I'm using the Coop root tabs and Easy Green, planted 2 weeks ago. All right, Nikita. First, kind of cool that you're able to get my fertilizer. You must have used a like a freight forwarding service. That's cool. But what's probably going on is when you bought that plant, it would have been grown up and out of water. Okay, so at the farms, when we go, all the plants are growing out of water, so they don't grow algae. They've got the roots in water, but all the foliage is out of water because I can grab unlimited amounts of CO2 out of the air and gets a lot of sunlight, right? So we grow that, and then it comes to you and you buy it. Now you put it underwater. What's going to happen is all these leaves that were used to grabbing infinite CO2 and getting a lot more light are going, hey, we don't get all that anymore. So the plant goes, ooh, but I could grow new leaves that could take up CO2 and light and all that underwater. And so you sometimes, above water, you have these big round leaves, and then underwater there'll be a much skinnier leaf. And so that's probably what's going on. What happens is, as it starts dying back, you're going to get brown spots and translucent and a little bit yellow. It consumes the nitrogen back out of those leaves to fuel the new leaves coming out, right? So a lot of people ask me, should I cut those leaves off? I don't think you should. I think you should let the plant consume it because it's the perfect food to make the new leaves. So it looks a little ratty when it's converting, but it's like the best food to really fuel that new growth. So, yeah. Non-good. What are good non-cichlid tank mates for yellow labs? Yellow labs, African cichlid, Labrachromis ceruleus. I like rainbow fish. Rainbow fish are a good one. Silver dollars, larger tetras, any of those usually work pretty good. Dirty Tank 2.0. Yeah, so he's got, the question 2.0. I mean the sand cap over the dirt. My pleco stirred up the dirt all over the tank and the decomposing wood. Yeah, that's kind of a common problem with dirty tanks. So it probably brought some of that stuff to the surface. It released ammonia, and then that ammonia is getting converted. So that could be a cause of higher nitrates. Yeah, unfortunately, it's like, this is like a giant I told you so. Like, this is the reason I never recommend dirted tanks. Is like, they're just, it's like they have great results, but also like are very prone to problems. So it's like, it's like I don't really, like, yeah, you could put more substrate on top to cap it again, and then your pleco's gonna dig again, and then you're gonna have the problem again. And then it also sucks to tell you, like, you know, the way to fix that is suck out all the substrate and put in new substrate and don't do dirt. Or get rid of your pleco, but then you still have to cap it again. Like, that's the problem, is eventually you get a dirted tank that's just not doing well, and you end up having to scrap it. It's like an ADA tank. It starts running out of nutrients, starting to fail, you have to replace everything. So, yeah, there's not a good, I don't have a good answer. I wish I had like, oh yeah, just do this, buy this product from Corey, it'll fix it. The reality is it won't. Lots of water change is about the only course of action you have right now. So, all right. Oh, I don't understand. Substrate change. My ammonia level has skyrocketed. I've been doing water changes for about a month and it won't go down. I also changed my filter to an aqua clear to preserve as much beneficial bacteria. So the first thing, Stephen, stop feeding. If you don't introduce ammonia, you won't have ammonia. So continue your water changes. Don't feed the fish. Like, and eventually you're gonna get down to nothing. And then keep it down at 0.5 ammonia or less, and let the tank digest that. When it digests that, start feeding once a week. And when it can digest that, start feeding twice a week. And when it can start digesting that, start feeding 3 times a week. Watch my video on ammonia spikes, and that'll lay it out exactly how to get through it. There's no magic here. It's not, you know, if you're changing water every day, you're putting in more ammonia from food and stuff than you're changing out every day. That's the continual problem you have. The only way to fix that is stop doing that. So, yeah. Is that you don't hear that every day? Is that a Coolie Loach stuffed animal in front of the Cool Ranch taco? It might be. Yes. I have all these handmade I guess toys from I think the company's called Paleo Plushie, and it's just I think it's a woman who hand sews each one of these. I got some new ones, right? Yeah, these are new ones. They're way too expensive, by the way. They're like $30 each. It's crazy, but I love to collect them. I got myself a Senegal Biter. Oh, it's focus. Yeah, there you go. There you go. I got myself the Senegal Biter. This is yeah, it was made April 12th, 2019. It comes with a little card. Oh yeah, so it is Paleo Plushies. Handmade by Rebecca Groom. And let's see what it say on here. Handmade in Scotland. All new materials, surface wash only. This is not a toy, not for children under 12. PaleoPlushies.com. And it's a mad dash. Focus, come on. Hide my face. There we go. It's a mad dash to get these things. Because she only ever makes like if this one, she'll be like, oh, I made 5 of these. And then the entire internet's scrambling to buy them. And then I also got a Dojo Loach. Oh, focus. Come on, Dojo. I gotta hide my face. It's on face tracking is why. Focus. I will not focus on this. Alright, well, take my word, it's a Dojo Loach. I guess I'll just hold it by my face and you can see it, right? So yeah, just now that I have, what do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, I guess. Now that I have 4, it's kind of like a little collection thing. They have some other ones I haven't bought. They had like a Cardinal Tetra and a Red Arc Pencilfish, and they looked okay, but I definitely like curb my spending. Like, I don't want to be like, I spent $400 on toys, you know. So I'm like, okay, I usually buy like 2 at a time and just go, okay, that somehow makes a little bit of sense in my warped brain. Like, you know, I'll slowly collect these. So yeah, but it is a Coolie Loach by my taco. Alrighty. Ooh, that's a good idea. Chris Swan says, potted plants instead of the dirted substrate. You could, yeah, if you got a pleco digging, do like a terracotta pot, dirt, cap it, plants, and then put some bigger stones, then the pleco can't really dig in it. So that's a good idea as well. It says, hi Corey, I set up a 20-gallon with fluval stratum. It's got tetra, snails, ottos, now infested with seed shrimp. Do I need to take down the tank? No. For one, I would be thrilled, literally thrilled to have a tank where I'm like, oh man, I'm making a bunch of seed shrimp, which is amazing, and the great live food. Like, that sounds awesome. So, I would definitely not tell you to get rid of it, because I would kill to have that. Now, if you didn't like the seed shrimp, which you should, because they're awesome, but if you didn't, maybe get yourself like, you know, a couple of guppies or like a platy, just something a little bit bigger in there. It will chow down all those for you. And then you'll be like, oh, I'm sad, I don't have any left. But it's a great live food source, and I honestly would encourage you to keep that going. And now that, well, it's kind of weird how the hobby works. Like now, if you're like, oh, it's a good thing? Yeah, I really want that. Now you'll be super sad when it dies out in like 2 months. You're like, no, it was actually awesome, and now you don't know how to get it back going. Dang it. So, yeah, I myself would be like, yes, this is rad. Anytime you can start getting more little crustaceans and stuff in nature into that system, the stronger it's going to be. So, yeah. Dojo compatibility, mostly cool water fish. They're not aggressive, and so they can technically go with goldfish. You can put them with rice fish. You can put them with hillstream loaches. They will go decently warm, but they're a very passive fish, and they eat a lot. They can jump out of the tank. I'm trying to think of good setups though, like a Danio tank would be good. Danios, yeah. Yeah. So AOXO says, not a bunch of sea shrimp, thousands on everything. Literally, it's like you're telling me, oh man, my room is so dirty. There's $5 bills everywhere. Like, you're literally like, how do I get rid of the best thing that's ever going to happen to you in your hobby? Like, it is very, very good. I would tell you that is a beneficial thing. I personally would figure out like, ooh, can I put a little trap in there, get a bunch of those to go in there, and then feed another tank? I'd be using it all the time. I'd be using like a brine shrimp net, like let me harvest this, feed another tank. Um, yeah. So, I really can't order from Aquarium Co-op because of international shipping, but can we send gifts to a PO box or something? You could, yeah. I mean, as long as you place an order. I mean, this is assuming my system lets it through, which it probably should. But you could order and have the billing address be different from the shipping address. You might get an email from us going, "Hey, we need you to confirm that. Like, why is this going on?" Yeah. What plants on my website flower? All of them. Yes, I want to quantify, make sure that's a true statement, but I believe every single plant on there would flower. Maybe not the mosses and Siswasser Tang, but almost every other plant will flower. Most of them just flower above water. The ones that can flower underwater typically are Anubias and Bucephalandras. I think of any others I can think of flower. Sometimes you can get a crypt to do it underwater. Most times it's out of water. Yeah. All right, it's been a long time. I need to remind everyone, buy all of our stuff. If you buy all of our stuff, we can do more good things. We've got the code BSAFE10. It's only for today. Discounts are unlikely, at this point, so utilize it while you can. Tomorrow in store, we'll have 10% off in store only. And so that means if you come in, you can buy fish and canister filters and all the other stuff too. But there's some additional items we don't sell online, like fish and canisters and tanks and all that kind of stuff. That also will have that 10% discount. So take advantage of that and keep us busy because summer's always a little bit of a lull and we could use that boost. So, how are we doing? Can I see how many orders we have? Oh man, we have 392 orders. Hopefully that'll hit I'm hoping it'll hit like 1,000 by the end of the day. That'd be great. Keep us real busy. We stocked. We don't stock staff. We scheduled staff quite a bit. So hopefully we'll get that number way up there. A lot of times people don't finish placing an order till after the live stream, which is a-okay too. So, in my opinion, is it good to feed decapsulated Artemia eggs to fry and adult-sized tropical fish, mostly cichlids? So yes, I believe it's good for them. I think the money to good ratio is a little bit out of whack when it comes to adults. For fry, definitely. But adults, it's like it takes a lot of brine shrimp eggs to really have an impact. So, like if I was hatching out live brine, I feed all the babies first. And then if I have extra left, I'll go and feed adults. But only after I fed the fry. And so if it's decapsulated brine shrimp and it's in a dry form, then I would say I probably wouldn't feed that much to the adults. I would find a different food to feed them. So. Mineral mossballs to harvest seed shrimp? That makes sense. Yeah, they'll cover the ball and you just move that over. I like that. Yeah. I just got scuds. I put them in the sump of the 800-gallon and I put them in a pond outside. Get them going. I want to get them going so I can use them as a live food. I really like them. You can find them on Aquabid. And let me see if the place I got them has them listed for sale. If they do, I'll tell you. If they don't, I'm not. I got them from a fan, but they had a company ship them, and I don't know if he's working with that company or not. So I want to see real quick here. Fish food is probably what it'd be under. It's all dry foods. Let me try typing it. They don't sell it online, but I believe it was the Cichlid Shack that sent them to me. Do they have where they're out of? It was Cichlid something. I don't know if they have. Trying to find it here. They got an About Us. Where are you out of? I don't know. Wait. Yeah, they're in Arizona. So it was the Cyclic Shack. So I believe that Preston Blake, or not Preston, Preston John, had them sent out by them, but they don't look to be selling them on their website. But their shipping was amazing. So for Scuds, I don't know about the cichlids they're selling, but for at least the Scuds, their shipping was very good, and yeah, seemed great. So if you're looking, you could look at their website, but I typed in Scuds and they didn't have it. So yeah. All right. Oof, Robert the Butcher just saved $30 on his order. That means he spent $300. Not bad. Now you got to reinvest that money into tacos and fireworks and root beer. That's the common advice, okay? James says, stem plants, just easy green or root tabs too? Well, in absolute optimum scenario, both. But the reality is, just the liquid would get you 90% there. And the last like 10% would be root tabs also. So, yeah. I got pizza in my teeth. Minimum tank size for Frontosa, and what kind of substrate do you recommend? I would use crushed coral. And as far as minimum tank size, long term, that's a slow growing fish. Long term, probably like a 125. But in the short term, like a 40 breeder is pretty good. Yeah. Let's see. Choya wood seems to attract seed shrimp also. I can believe that. I moved mine from seed shrimp tank to another tank and suddenly had seed shrimp there too. I might have to hit one of you guys up that has seed shrimp. Be like, all right, you send me a moss ball or a choya wood, and I will give you, $30 store credit or something, whatever's a fair trade for both of us, because I definitely want scuds, seed shrimp. I'm already playing with a little bit of Daphne outside. Although I just tore that pond down, so I might be Daphnia list at the moment. But I need to set up other tanks for Daphnia, and I kind of want to get some of these cultures going inside, which I know that's like the holy grail that I fail at. So yeah. Hi Corey, do you need dechlorinator for a plant-only tank given there are no extremes in the water source? So I can only speak from my own water. The answer would be no. I don't know if chloramine has bad properties for plants, but in terms of, I don't have to if it's just a planted tank. So I've got some genetically flawed guppies that look like boomerangs. If I use them as feeders for my Africans, does it harm the Africans? Nope. You can just, a lot of times, I let them live with the Africans, and if they become a meal, they became a meal. That's kind of like nature, like, oh, the weak one got taken out. If they just live there, like, that's fine too. Maybe they have babies, so then their babies get eaten. Either way, probably works out all right. Dang it, I thought there was another one that I wanted to answer. Vallisneria, both easy green and root tabs. Root tabs first, easy green second. Either one will support it, but yeah, I've done both. A lot of times, so part of it is a well-established tank will have a lot of nutrients in the gravel anyway, so you might not need root tabs, and so just liquid will get you by. But in a brand new tank, I usually hit it with both. So. Currently planting some crypt harbor from Aquarium Co-Op. Should I plant the whole plant after removing it from the wool and split the roots and the plants into multiple pieces? You definitely can do that with some tweezers. It takes a long time to grow and fill in. That's the only problem. So it kind of looks better if you just put like groups in there, because it like, oh yeah, kind of starting to fill in. I believe that it like grows a little faster left in the clump because we're not disrupting the roots. but I've never done side-by-side comparisons. So, would I ever feed a deformed guppy to my dogs? No, not intentionally. They have eaten fish every once in a while, like maybe once every couple years. Like there's a dried up fish on the floor somehow that I didn't see. Not that that happens very often, but I know it's kind of happened because you smell it on the breath, like, oh, I smell fishy. And it's not that I would never do it. It's that I myself, I'm not a guy that can like kill stuff. I'm just not that guy. So if I fed a live guppy to my dog, I'd be afraid, or I wouldn't want to do that because it's a live guppy. If it was already a dead guppy, I'd be afraid it could get sick somehow or gone rancid. So typically, if I need to get rid of a fish, it goes and lives with turtles. They can, either hunt it or just cohabitate. I've got plenty of fish that, were meant to like live with the turtles, and then they just actually live with the turtles for years and years to come. And then I'm like, oh, it's great. Yeah. Recommendations for using Easy Green and or root tabs in a Neo shrimp tank? Yeah, sure. It's invertebrate safe. It's almost like there's a meme for that. Why are common pistos like cockatoides so expensive? I can't seem to get them for less than 30 a pair in the Philly area. Because they're slow to color up. They're a fish that on average is going to take 6 to 8 months before they're ready to sell as pairs. And because it has such a long growing time, that's what costs, the money. So, yeah. And it's only going to go up as like minimum wage goes up and just the cost of living. Yeah. It's a great fish to breed though, and they're great. They're totally worth the $30. Like in my opinion, every fish on this planet is underpriced. Like if the epistles are $300 a pair instead of $30, still worth every dollar. At $3,000, still worth every dollar, except we'd never be able to afford them. But fish are, it's like a dog. Like, is a dog worth $10? Or is it worth $10,000? Or is it $10 million? Like, I equate, if I have a dog for 20 years, the amount of enjoyment I should be getting out of that dog, like, it's worth any amount of money, right? So, that's where I get it when people go spend $5,000 on a dog. If you really want that dog, the money is not important, right? Now, I rescue dogs. That's what I do. But, I don't look at it as like, oh, that's a bad financial investment. I might look at it and go like, oh, maybe I just would have adopted a dog. But the money aspect is not the reason I look at it from a different angle. I believe that in general, pets for us humans are very cheap compared to what they bring to us in enjoyment. So like I look at it, a pair of Apistos at $30, if you spend 5 minutes on them every other day, every week for a year, so that's like, 30 minutes a week, right? You're going to get 26 hours of entertainment out of those fish, right? And that costs you $30. Well, here, you can have lunch twice, and that will keep you fed and entertain you for maybe an hour. So the $30 on Apistos is like a 25 times better return. So that's how I look at things. I go, I just feel like it's way cheap for what we get. And we're obviously we're comparing it to other fish of like, well, but these neon tetras, they give me a lot of enjoyment, but they're only $2, right? Yes, but I still believe that if we're attracted to something that is a more expensive fish, it's still completely worth the money. We're letting our own mind taint us and going, oh, it shouldn't be that expensive. The reality is, none of these fish should be that cheap, honestly. Like for the amount of joy we get from them, at least I do, should be way more expensive. Not should be, could be, and I would still partake. I guess that's the difference is, if the hobby was now 10 times more expensive than it is right now, I would have 10 times less tanks, but I'd still be just as passionate about it. So instead of for every 10 tanks I'd have one. So I'd still have one though. So yeah. Ooh, just made your first purchase from Aquarium Co-Op. Got a few plants. I hope you get them well. I know we ship them well, but I always hope that people have an easy time acclimating and all that. So we got 6 neon tetras in a 10-gallon. I've added 4 cherry shrimps, but accidentally now have about 100 cherry shrimps. So how do I get a new tank? Because it's overpopulated now. Oh, so do I have to get a new tank? You don't have to. What'll happen is you'll hit like what's called critical mass. And so at a certain point, you won't add more food and there won't be enough food and you'll stop making more shrimp, right? But if you keep continually adding more and more and more food, eventually you'll get a population crash. But you don't have to get one. But usually what most people start doing is they start selling those cherry shrimp, even at like $1 a piece. Like, oh, I took out 20 and I sold that to a fish store or a buddy or whatever, and now I got $20 and I buy something else. So that's usually what people do because it's like free money. So yeah. I hate splurging on the fish and having a risk of losing them. Like that's definitely true. But I look at it like getting a dog. You pretty much know you're buying problems. Like it's going to cost me money. It's going to get sick. It's going to die at some point. That's the risk. I also believe that's what brings us closer to our pets. So if you were to buy those Apistos, they get horribly sick, and you treat them and they get better than they have babies. You are very connected to that and you really enjoy, like, look what we did. It was so bad and now it's so good and I did all of that. Whereas if you just buy a fish and it does okay, it's kind of just there, like that connection's way weaker than the whole story that goes with it. And same with a dog, right? Like, or a cat. Like when it's new, it's a puppy, it's cute, it's a puppy, but you still might long for that dog you had for 18 years. Like, we've been through so much. We went through breakups. We went hiking. We remember when you got hit by a car, and then you made it through that. And then I remember when you got attacked by a squirrel, and you made it through that. And then I remember this. And, like, you've got all that stuff that goes with it. It makes it, like, a better experience. And I believe fish that way, too. So I think it's just a mind thing of, like, know that you're buying your way into, like, I'm going to buy... Think of it like buying... movie tickets. Like whether that fish lives or dies, you're getting the quote unquote entertainment and the experience. And so if it's like dying and you're medicating, your that money that was buying pleasure now buys education, right? So it's still useful though. And then the next time you buy the fish, hopefully you take that education and instead of getting another lesson in education, you're getting a lesson, or not a lesson, but just a pleasure out of it, right? So I think it's just we get caught up in our own brain and we let it prevent us from getting what we truly want or justifying things. And, it might not be that you really want those Apistos, you want a different Apisto. Like maybe, because at the beginning you said, why are the common Apistos $30? It might be in your own head, you actually want rarer Apistos and you're just sad to see those ones are expensive and you're assuming the other ones are way more expensive or something. So, get to what you want and the rest will take care of itself. You're truly getting something you're longing for, the rest will take care of itself. All right. Do we still sell the intake filter kit with all the fittings? No, we don't. We used to sell it. Then quality control went in the toilet. And they were having the elbows break all the time. We stopped selling them. They refused to make it good again. And so they're actually they're not willing to fix the problem. They're trying to sell the company. We looked into buying it. In my personal opinion, looking at the business, was not worth it at any. I want to say it was $140,000, and that business is not worth $140,000. That's all I know. At least the facts that were presented to us at that point, not worth $140K. G-Bear said, just read an article that by October 1st, 2019, no Walmart was selling fish anymore. The reason I read that aloud is that ties into, I went to a fish wholesaler with Robert, and instead of doing an unboxing, we filmed picking out the fish. And he was talking, and we'll probably leave that part in, about how they're trying to sell online now. So they used to have all the Walmarts in like Washington, Oregon, California, Idaho. They had all those Walmarts, and they would buy, there's a lot of stores, right? Even though they only buy like 12 of one fish, when you have all those Walmarts buying at the same time, it's a lot of sales. And all of them, at least here, have already gotten rid of fish. And so he lost all of that income that he had, right? So as a wholesaler, he needs to replace that income. Because if you lose 180 stores that are buying fish, not nearly that many mom and pop stores are opening up, right? And he's got all this infrastructure and employees and all that, and he's got to recoup it. So now he's selling fish online. He's not selling any fish online to people that live in my state, Washington, where he is, but he will sell to other states. And, you know, again, that's me like willing to promote my competitor. It's like, but by you selling, like technically that goes against what I'm doing here in Washington and, you know, all that. But, you know, it's that catch-22 of like, if he doesn't replace that income, he's not there anymore, right? So you need everyone to make money. And, but yes, so I can believe that because he lost all his accounts because they shut down the fish sections. And I'm not convinced that's a good thing, by the way. A lot of people say, look how horrible Walmart is. But I will point out one thing. For every post we see of how horrible Walmart's treating their fish, we're not equally seeing how good people are treating fish. And what I mean by that is, so let's say out of 1,000 Walmarts, let's say 950 of them are terrible. And I have no idea what the statistics are, but let's say it's that, right? No one's highlighting the other 20 that are amazing, you know, and I can't believe that none of them aren't good because there's always a chance like you hire a person, they're into fish, and then it's fine, right? So, and then also, like, I personally am very against the YouTubers that get their fame on exploiting things that have been done horribly. Like, oh, look how bad this Walmart, this PetSmart, all that stuff is. Like, I think that makes the hobby look bad, and I don't believe their intentions are to actually make the hobby better. I believe it's for the views, right? So, what I would like to see is, like, if you're going to do that, also spend time highlighting great stores, right? So if you actually want to see us end selling at Walmart, shouldn't we also be part of the solution in making sure Walmart, if they were to Google what does a good pet store look like, it would come up in the search, right? And then they go, okay, so people like this, and I think that needs to be done. If we're gonna critique something, let's show the good and the bad, not just all the bad for the ratings and like, oh, but people don't, you know, because the reality is no one's gonna really tune in when you're like, look at this, Walmart has 15 different fish and they're all healthy. Like that's not sensational enough. So it needs to be like, look at all this dead stuff. And I just don't feel like, you know, that's a fair thing to do to this hobby and in general. And also, with them getting rid of live fish, the next step is getting rid of fish supplies. So then naturally you're taking out another person out of the competition chain. Some people can only get their supplies from a Walmart. So hobbyists might suffer for that. And so a bunch of people are very excited that Walmart will no longer sell fish. And I think that is one outcome that is, it is what it is, right? I think we really should have been striving for Walmart sells fish way better. That was the win of like, oh wow, they still all sell fish, but now the standards are much higher and it's a good thing. You know, meanwhile, we're celebrating that they're getting shut down. And I just think that's bad for the hobby in general, a hobby that we love. So, you know, I look at that going, dang, you know, like they weren't doing a good job. That, you know, that's apparent for the most part. But if we could have only convinced them that the money was there to do a better job, then everyone would have been better off for it, I think. So, yeah. Daryl Dimer with the $20 super chat, longtime supporter, great guy to hang out with in person. I just want to thank the Aquarium Co-op team. All the items I ordered for my 125 arrived quickly and in perfect condition. Well, thank you. We do appreciate that. We love the feedback. And yeah, hopefully we'll hang out if you show up to Aquatic Experience or Aquashella. It's a good time to meet, you know, you guys that hang out and chat and we, you know, get to know each other. And I think you guys get a deeper insight to me off camera. Like, not that I'm radically different. I do a bit of swearing. Not like horrible or anything, but you know, I'm a little, I don't want to say more down to earth because I'm pretty down to earth here, but like I can be more honest. Nah, that's not even right either because I'm pretty honest. I don't know how to say it other than like people a lot of times be like, I feel like I know you a lot more like I knew you, but then it's almost like seeing me in person, seeing me so similar to online, then it almost like reaffirms like, oh, I actually do know him as opposed to just like, oh, A and B type of scenario. So, yeah. All right. Let's see here. My phone is blowing up. I want to make sure that my wife just now says, can you please remind customers that the shop is closed today and normal business hours tomorrow? Yes. Retail store closed today. Even our shipping side is closed today. We're taking in all the orders. Tomorrow we'll be shipping like mad men and women to get everything out the door efficiently and safely. We're not compromising anything. The retail store will be open tomorrow, and yeah. Can I also advise customers that if they've already used a discount code on the order, we cannot apply another discount order to that code or to that order? Yes. So our system doesn't have the ability to stack any codes. There shouldn't even be that many codes out there, but every once in a while, possibly we make a discount code for a specific thing. I can't even think of. Like maybe sometimes if somehow we mess up an order, we'll go like, hey, it's 10% off your next order you place, right? And it might be like Ken Dyer, and then the date will be the code name. You wouldn't be able to use that code and the Be Safe 10 code at the same time. Like our system doesn't even have the ability to stack codes. So you just have to take, you would just get your 10% off. Either way, you could save that personalized code for a different order. Yeah. So that just makes the customer service life easier for both my wife and Candy and all the other employees. Because we, as we get a ton of orders, there's a ton of people that place orders. That the biggest thing, I bet, if I had the whole team here, they would all say, please, everyone, would you just double check your shipping address before you submit? So many people get the wrong one submitted, then they got to email, then we got to try to fix it, or they don't notice till it's already en route to them, and then we just have to eat a bunch of losses. So that's not good. And we've got all the checks we can put in program-wise, but if your address is 2229 Corey Street and you put in 2292, our system can't catch that, right? But if you don't put a code, or if you don't put an address on there at all, like you just put Corey Street, it will say like, hey, you have to put a house number. So yeah, or a lot of times it gets sent to I moved, that's my old PayPal address or something like that. And it's like, oh no. So yeah. Lindsay says, thanks for having a code today. You're welcome. Thanks for buying from us. I appreciate that. And KD Cichlid says, a new meme just arrived. Scary. And Katie says, also please include your order number in all emails. That saves a bunch of steps. Like a lot of times people send an email in and go, hey, something wrong with my order, or where is my order, or I want to change something on my order, and they'll send it from an email address. Well, a lot of times people don't use the same email address, so then we got to try to find it by name. And then if that doesn't work, we got to try to find an email. That doesn't work, we got to send an email going, what is your name, or what is your email address, or what is the order number? Then we can look it up, and then we can help you. So yes, if you include, the more information you include when you send an email to us, the faster and easier and the better we can get back to you. That's just really what it comes down to. So, new member, Mr. Bill. Welcome, Mr. Bill. Let's see. Any tips on breeding Julie Corridora cats? Keep it a little bit cooler and feed them a ton of Rapashu food, like big blocks of it. Let them eat for hours and hours and hours. Any crazy fan stories? We do get some. I don't like to highlight them because, one, I don't want to make someone who's kind of crazy more crazy. I'm trying to think if I have anything. We definitely get some crazy letters. I'm trying to think if we have something that's worth talking about that wouldn't automatically name someone. I don't think so. But yeah, there's, just as my spiel always goes, if 3 million people watch our videos monthly, if only 1 out of 1 million people is actually crazy, that means 3 people a month might be doing something crazy to us, So, and that's out of a 1 in a million, those are very low odds. It's probably, people that have, let's say, mental problems or a grudge is much higher than that, I'm sure. So, yeah. Oh, a new meme in Messenger. I won't be able to show it on camera, Kevin. It takes a bunch to like get it uploaded and do all those things. So, yeah. Are panda cories known for eating their eggs? I got 7 pandas that are breeding. Yes. So they don't typically lay their eggs like up on glass or wood or anything. They lay them down in mosses and lower things. And yeah, they will eat their own eggs. Any love letters? I don't think I've really gotten too many love letters or anything like that. Yeah. My wife would probably know better than I would. I don't really pay attention. So, I mean, not that I'm like neglecting anything. Oh, I did get so the person that's listening, I forget your name because I've got it set aside and I was supposed to do it. Someone sent me the "You Don't Know Me" shirt, which I appreciate. I've been wearing that to some of my workouts and that kind of stuff. I'll say the thing I do love, and I feel guilty, but I do love it so much. I love the personal gifts. So like we still use, and I don't remember the person's name. Part of me feels horrible for that, is that I can't remember people's names. But someone that sent us the quilt that had fish on it and stuff, I still use that dang near every day. I love that thing. So stuff like that. We got taco towels lately. We got that salmon lately. We got that shirt. I think what else we got. I know we get other stuff, and it's always really cool when, I guess I feel it the most when someone I know is like listening to the live streams and then sends like a very well crafted, thoughtful gift. I always appreciate that a lot. So yeah, and I think everyone does around the shop. Like, wow, that's super cool. Like that's super nice that someone would do that for us. Yeah, we do appreciate it. Let's see here. Do I like saltwater? I do. I do enjoy it. But I don't know. I don't have time for it. Slash, I kind of want, if there was like a really good local store that opened up close to me, or I feel like I need like a saltwater buddy or something. Like, there's not enough, I guess, reason for me to like, I'm gonna do that tomorrow, right? But if I like something was like, oh, I gotta do this. Like, this is amazing. And because I don't visit saltwater stores that often, I'm not like falling in love with it. So, yeah, like if someone moved in next door and they had like, my favorite thing in saltwater so far is like those Christmas tree things. Those Christmas tree they just call them Christmas trees. I think those things are amazing, but they're super hard to keep. I hear. I've never kept them, so yeah. 29-gallon guppy tank overload, no stores in 140 miles. How do I shrink the colony? I would get a predator in there. Maybe you get like a frog, like a dwarf frog. He'll eat some of the fry. If you naturally cut back on food, they will not. Like the fry will get eaten a bit. Other than that, you could try posting, somewhere in a group and like come get them. But it's hard when you live at remote. It's just hard. It's like, oh, you made them. Now what are you gonna do? Upgrade tank? Make a little pond? I don't know. Let's see here. Advice on a Faka puffer. I'm from Australia and I got one of only 7 available Australia-wide for the first time in 10 years or more. Tank mates and tips and advice. At that point, I personally would keep it as a solo specimen because you can't really get more. So I keep it as a solo specimen, keep it in sand substrate because a lot of them like to burrow. Variable diet. I would use like frozen shrimp, frozen clams on the half shell. I would vitamin soak all of that. I would try to get it on a pellet if you can. Sometimes you can butterfly the shrimp and put pellets into the back of it, and eventually it'll start eating some pellets. That's not a replacement for filing down its teeth, but that does allow you to get a lot of vitamins into that fish. But yes, being that it would be so rare in Australia, I would treat it as a solo wet pet. And maybe long term after like a year of quarantine, I'd introduce like a type of fish. But if there's only 7 in your entire country, you should love it so much and respect it so much that you could keep it solo and be just happy. If you're not, then maybe someone else should have that thing because it's rare enough in your country. So, someone's asking to see my shirt again. Yeah, the Corridora gang. I just think it's hilarious. My wife thinks this one's the funniest one. Ugh. One given the side eye. The whole, like... Yeah. Which, yeah, that's a shout out to Friday's Fish Facts. He does a lot of, like, I would say meme-esque content. You know, a lot of, like, Reddit type stuff. I don't watch a whole lot of it because I don't have a whole lot of time to watch, but every once in a while I'll get a few minutes in. The person I am watching, I would say a lot of currently, is Ryo Wantabi. And let me see if I can put a link to his channel. I'm really just enjoying, one, like, I think his voice is, like, I don't know, it comes across well. And half of me is, wait, Watanbe? Half of me is impressed that he can speak a couple different languages. And, like, I've gotten to know him a little bit through Messenger now. And the fact that, like, right now he's in Japan, but he also spends time in Singapore. And he's got a lot of cool stuff to show. And, yeah, so I'll share that. That's just, and what I like about it is, like, yeah, he's posting stuff about arowanas and stuff. And it's not that I do or don't care about arowanas, but that's not enough to make me click on a video. Like, there's a bunch of arowana videos, right? But what I like is that he shows, like, going to the supermarket and doing all that kind of stuff. And as you already know, I love going to the supermarket in other countries. And so seeing the stuff outside the scenes, he's gone to some plant farms and that kind of stuff. I'm really hoping to collaborate with him. And by that I mean, like, go either to Japan or Singapore, and if he speaks the languages, he can be the interpreter, and we can go film fish stuff and have a good time. And yeah, I've been following him for probably, it might be 2 years now. He caught my eye down around like 3,000 or 4,000 subscribers, and his editing was way ahead of most YouTubers 2 years ago. Now, a lot of people have advanced, so it's not like that cutting edge, but I believe the content's put together very well, and it's one of the few I find myself watching a lot of. You know, like, I don't watch a lot of Jimmy's videos because either A, it's focusing on something that's already at my store, or B, I just talk to him in person about it. And so it's like, oh yeah, I know you went and did that thing, and I might, like, watch some of the footage a little bit, but I don't need to, like, listen to the whole story because it's like I can talk to him about it. So... yeah. Pro Shrimp, you're doing a great job. I enjoy all your business insights. I am seeing many similarities to our business here in the UK. Awesome. Good to know. Pro Shrimp. Never heard that before. I'm assuming that's the name of that business, but don't know. How do you send fan mail? Fan mail gets sent to, yeah, the retail store, which Candy is listed. You can always look it up on our website and that kind of stuff. And you just address it to me, I guess. Or if it's to someone else, like, you know, I bet you Robert would lose his mind. And so he's the one that does the unboxing store manager. If someone sent him like a box of gluten-free goodies, you know, because he's always the odd man out. Well, him and Jordan. Jordan kind of got some sensitivities to food also, but they're always the odd people out. Yeah. But we are doing a new thing now. I am having fruit boxes delivered every other week to the store in the warehouse, so that they have fresh fruit available instead of just, like, you know, candy and chips and, you know, some healthier options. We still do Pizza Fridays, so, you know, don't worry, didn't get rid of Pizza Fridays. Can a bamboo shrimp and an epistogramma live with your dojo loach? No. I would say it's not a good idea, just because the epistogramma wants to be like 84 degrees and a dojo loach wants to be like 74. Could you find a balance somewhere in there? Yes, probably. But, yeah. Have I checked out Vincent Wu? He's getting out of the hobby and he has a lot of fly river turtles. I think someone sent me messages and I sent him messages and I never got any word back. And I think a lot of it comes down to, I always specify I'm only interested in ones that have paperwork. And 99 out, well, probably 999 out of 1,000 turtles that are in America won't have paperwork. and so I'm just not willing to get fined and have problems and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah. Will we be hiring soon? We plan to hire about one person every month for the next 3 months or so. We've got a few candidates that are sitting pretty, if you will, or it's like, they already like are kind of on top of the pile as far as like resumes go. They already passed a phone interview. The next thing is a working interview. But that being said, always submit, and we are one of the few companies that will go back and be like, yeah, you were actually like number 4 in line. We hired those other 3. Like, now we're ready for the 4th. Are you still interested? We don't expect you to wait for us, but we actually will follow up with good candidates that fit our company. And it's not that you are or aren't a good candidate. You also have to fit in our company. Like, we need certain work hours. We need certain work history. We need certain skill sets. We need, a certain vibe. Are they going to get along with everyone? Yeah. Does Aquarium Co-op like Little Debbie's? I mean, I would assume if I drop a box of them off there, they wouldn't make it more than a couple of days. But I don't think I've ever really seen people buy them. I find myself, I can eat like 1 or 2 of those. Are they like the strawberry rolls? I always buy them when we go camping. I buy like a box, and after the second one, I'm like, oh my gosh, way too much sugar. But the first 1 or 2 are always amazing. So then I need to try to give them away. Bamboo shrimp's okay with the dojo? Yeah, I would say it would be, probably. Yes, if you're in, I saw someone talking about Sacramento. Dean will be speaking in Sacramento, I think it's tomorrow. At least he'll be in California speaking, I think tomorrow and the next day, Friday and Saturday. Not quite sure. New member, Bryce Campbell, welcome. Ooh, does anyone know, is John of Katie Tropicals going live yet? He messaged me yesterday saying he might go live right after me. And if so, I want to send everyone his way so we can keep it going. Let's see. He is scheduled. So he's scheduled for 2 o'clock our time. So that's another 2 hours away. So at 2 o'clock, John will be going live, and I think Lisa's going to be on there as well. So you have to fill in some time somewhere. Top 5 community fish foods. For me, so here's what I'll do. I always feel like people assume I'm giving answers based on what I sell versus what I think is the best. So I'm going to do 2 lists. I'm going to do 1 list of the best stuff you could possibly buy from Aquarium Co-op. Then I'm going to do another list of the best stuff I think could just exist for the fish at all. So the best stuff you can buy from us for a community tank, I feel, is the Aquarium Co-op fry food, the Sarah Vipan flake, I really like Vibrabites. This is assuming you're ordering online, because live and frozen foods are amazing. So let's put that away, or put that aside. So that's those 3. And I'm trying to think of what else that I really like, feed a lot of. If truth be told, if Hikari would sponsor me, I would feed a never-ending dump truck full of those Vibrabites. Like, I love those things. What else do I feed like regularly that I really like on community fish? Oh, the ONIP tabs for sure. I do those a lot. And then I'm trying to think of what else. Probably some for bottom dwellers. Probably. I've been lazy lately though, but community blend Rapashi is an amazing food. I've just been lazy. So those are probably like the best 5. The best 5 that I sell. I'm seeing Ray Share says, we make salmon jerky for dogs too. Are my dogs big or small? We have tiny chihuahuas. And if you send me an email, Ray, I wouldn't mind buying some more of the flavors I like. I think we got rid of the package. So my wife is very sensitive to the smell. So Jimmy opened it up and we transferred it to baggies, right? But I think I threw away the packages not thinking. Like, I thought it was just a fan sent me some stuff. That's super cool. But now that I know that you make it, like, I actually want to help support you, and I'm like, oh man, I would buy some more of that. So now, yeah. Bug bites. Bug bites are great food. I'm not feeding a lot of it right now. Why am I not feeding a lot of it? I think because my favorite one are the pleco sticks. I don't have a lot of fish that are of the size that would really eat that. But it is a good food. So top 5 best community fish foods, I believe, would be that aren't necessarily from my store. I still really like my squirt bottle fry food. One food that I wish I could get in that I could sell would be the golden pearls. And there's multiple golden pearls, by the way. Only the ones that are actually made from brine shrimp. There are ones that don't have that as the main ingredient. And I think Ken's Fish might sell those ones. I don't know. I haven't looked into it for a while because I wanted to really sell them, right? And I was really trying to get to the, like, okay, where can I buy these in bulk? And they're kind of expensive, but they stay neutrally buoyant. So I do love that food. They're expensive. You can buy them different microns, though. Flake food. I really do like the Sarah Nature flake food. I'm testing out Extremes flake food right now. I'm testing out some other ones. So a good flake food, pick one, you know. And then part of the problem is, like, most of the things that I think are really good we sell. Most. Unless we can't get a hold of it, which is very rare. I'm just trying to think of some other stuff. Like, I really love frozen. In my opinion, the food tree goes live food the best, frozen the second best, the next fresh is the next, and then like dry. But I use a mix of all of that. Like, live baby brine is like a wonder drug for fish. Yeah. So best koi food. I don't know if there. I've fed stuff that's $200 a bag. I've fed stuff that's $20 a bag. I don't notice a huge difference in my koi. Now, that doesn't mean, like, what I find to be way more important is how often they're fed. So take that $200, invest it in an auto feeder for your koi pond, you'll get way better results. What I like in a koi food is, does it murky up the water? And so I actually really do like Hikari foods. I really like high fang foods. I'm trying to think of what else that I've fed, you know, for like a whole summer at a time to really get a good, you know, like right now, currently my fish are eating high fang koi food. And we're considering carrying it, but I like it. I also really like Hikari's food. And not even just the high-end blends, like the Sasaki blends, but even just like the normal gold blend. I really like it because it stays well, and it doesn't foul the water. You don't get a lot of particulate matter coming off. Their poop tends to stay together as opposed to, like, you know, just break down way too fast and become a problem. Yeah, I like those two foods, and there's a bunch of them. Like, we carry some other ones, and they're not bad, but like, I feel like the Sarah food for goldfish and koi that we carry is amazing food. It's expensive. It's really good. You're like, oh, I have one 200-gallon pond. Great, buy that food. But for me, we have thousands of gallons. They're eating pounds and pounds and pounds of food a month. Too expensive to feed. So, yeah. What aquarium auto feeder do I recommend? Currently, I recommend the Eheim auto feeder. If you can wait about 2 months, I'll be recommending the Aquarium Co-op auto feeder. What? That's right. But if you can't wait 2 months, Eheim is still great. We still sell them. I still use them in my own fish room. And but I think I've got something better for you guys, but you got to wait for it. And yeah, the price point will definitely be better. I can say that. So, all right, it's 12:15. I have to get ready. I've got to go work out, and then I gotta go to a barbecue. Yes. So thank you for buying stuff. Hopefully, when this live stream ends, you buy a lot more stuff. The code is BSAFE10. All of your money will be funneled directly back into letting cargo containers full of goods sit on the docks and not coming over to us. But someday they will get here, and then you'll have all these great new products to play with, and make the hobby better one little innovation at a time, if you will. let's see, where do we get to? 440 orders. So we're about halfway there, and hopefully people will kick into gear. Like, you know, some people are just waking up. They might have, you know, oh, I'm sleeping, it's my day off and whatnot. So, yeah. Ooh, and yeah, hit me up on the story, the Aquarium Co-op YouTube story channel. Hit that up, and I'll try to answer some questions. Maybe I'll do a few right now before I go inside. So, thanks for hanging out. New video probably on Tuesday, maybe a live stream on Wednesday. Don't know what my schedule looks like yet. So, until then, deal with it. Who needs green screen when you could have these?